The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000, brought to you by Harvey Norman, the all-new Nissan Pulsar, the bank that helps businesses make it happen, and Carlton Draft, unbeatable.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the SCG. It's been a beautiful day in Sydney, and it's a great night for the last game in 2000, and who better to be playing? The Swans and the Kangaroos. The two co-tenants, so to speak, but the Swans say it's very much our home, and why not? They, under Rodney Eade in particular, have had tremendous support here over the last 5 seasons. And who knows, a win tonight would keep alive a very slim chance of making it 5 out of 5 finals appearances under Rodney Eade. Stephen Doyle plays his first game tonight. Mickey O'Loughlin's been in terrific form. Good crowd building up. There's something about Saturday nights at the SCG, Paul Roos, isn't there?
Yeah, look, I tell you what, a lot of people ask me, do you miss playing football? Most of the time I say no, but I remember back to the Collingwood-Sydney game earlier in the year, Saturday night football at the SCG. If you haven't been here, it is a fantastic night, and we're expecting a pretty good game. The Kangaroos have been in good form. As you mentioned, the Swans, a slim chance of making the finals.
Kangaroos have got a great record here, there's no doubt about that. They've won 13 out of 16 since the Swans came up here in 1982.
Yeah, they have 13 against 3, the Sydney, but it is a little bit misleading because their last 5 or 6 games have been very, very close, and there's a really big rivalry now with Kangaroos versus Sydney.
Speaking about that rivalry, Paul Kelly mentioned that at a press conference during the week as we see Wayne Carey leading the Kangaroos out, and here's what Paul Kelly had to say.
Personally, I'd much rather be the only team in Sydney. I think we've put a hell of a lot of work into it, the Swans, over a number of years, and we're finally seeing some benefits of that, and I'm enjoying them. So, sure, down the track there's probably a side spot, enough room for another team, whoever it might be. But selfishly, I'd much rather be the only team in town. Yeah.
He'll set himself again for a big game personally, won't he?
Yeah, look, I think he's really worked his way back in, hasn't he? He's certainly taken some fantastic overhead marks, but I really think tonight we're going to see Paul Kelly, something special from Paul Kelly.
Rodney Eade spoke to Nick McArdle a short time ago.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, Rocket, how difficult is it going to be to match up on their forward line tonight?
Yeah, I suppose that's one of their strengths, obviously, with McKernan back in form, and I think everyone knows what sort of player Carey is, and they've got some other good players in there, Abraham and Shoal. I suppose with Dunkley as well might expose us a little bit, but Shaw's been in very good form, and Troy Luff played very well last week, and where we're sitting on the ladder, I think we're about the 4th best defence, so our defence has held up pretty well this season.
Now, I know you've said before that the finals race will look after itself. You guys just have to keep winning. But in terms of the team and its future for years to come, are a few guys playing for their futures tonight?
Yeah, probably not their long-term future at the club, but where they might sit in the scheme of things for next season. I suppose the fact we've given a few young kids a go as well, now that Stephen Doyle's playing his first game tonight, and there's certainly a few players who have might have been on the fringe of the team have put their hand ups over the last 6 or 7 weeks and have certainly given themselves a real good chance of being our best 22 next year.
Good luck, Rocket.
Thanks, mate.
Looking forward to a great game. Here's Doyle coming in. Wolf hasn't played for half a dozen weeks. He's back.
Yeah, look, I think as Rodney Eade said, it's a big game tonight, particularly for the younger guys. Rowan Wolf being one. Fosdyke has really stepped up. Jude Bolton's had a pretty good season, as has Adam Goods after an indifferent middle of the season. But I guess the stars are Mickey O'Loughlin, who was fantastic last week, and as you said, young Simon Doyle playing his first game.
There's Brad Stevens, who's also playing his first game, so a big night for 2 youngsters here, and the Kangaroos have won their last 4, and here's Nick with Dennis Pagan.
Well, Dennis, obviously an important time for the club. McKernan back to form last week. You've got Stevens and Colbert getting better every week. Archer back, and then you've got Martin and Capuano on the way. Do you feel like things are sort of coming right at the right time?
You'd like to think so. As soon as you got your head above water, it's been a habit of jumping up and biting us on the backsides. Look, we can't afford to take it any other way than just pick our best side and go week by week. I know it's a cliche, but that's the reality of it all.
Now, I know you coaches don't like getting ahead of yourselves, but you mentioned mentioned during the week at a press conference here that you'd like to play a home final here in Sydney. Does it feel that much at home to you?
Well, we've got a very good home ground advantage here. We had a lot of success here, and that was the reason why I said that. You know, you want your players to play in front of big crowds and that sort of thing, because I think they've earned that right once they get into your finals football. From a personal point of view, it wouldn't worry me. But if you don't finish 1-2, you haven't got any say in it.
Another step tonight. Thanks, Dennis.
Hey, thanks. Yeah.
Yes, Ruzi, since coming up here last year, they've won 7 out of 8, including their last 7. There's a big change tonight.
Yeah, look, just looking down that list, one Corey McKernan out, so it'll be interesting to see if Nick's got anything about that. We're not sure why up here. For mine, I guess a couple of players, Anthony Stevens, similar boat to Paul Kelly, just easing his way back into form, and Glenn Archer, who hasn't played for 6 weeks, and he will be a key to the Kangaroos if they are to go further than the preliminary final in September. If they to get the grand final, Glenn Archer on screen now, he's one that really, and also Mickey Martin coming back in over the next couple of weeks.
So important. Evan Hewitt comes in. There's Wayne Carey, who was under real doubt, wasn't he, at the start of the week? But as he always seems to do it, the King has made it. Speaking of the King, well, he's the King of Sydney now, isn't he, Paul Kelly? We'll be back with the opening bounce with Flagger after this. Welcome back. There's Wayne Carey, champion player, over 50 goals again this season, despite the fact that he's played a lot of football down back. And speaking of goals, Tony Lockett joins us, as he always does in Sydney. There's an excitement here tonight. There's a good crowd building up, Plugger, and there's a chance for the Swans to go out with a real bang.
Yeah, it is, Bruce. The last game at the SCG for both clubs now that the Kangaroos have moved their last game against St Kilda from here to Colonial. So this is the last one of the year, and we're expecting a real big one.
Let's have a look at the toss. Well, 2 great champions here, Kelly and Carey. Don't they lead by example for these 2 clubs? A club couldn't wish for a better leader than either of them, could they?
No, fantastic. Wayne Carey's been terrific for the Kangaroos, and equally Paul Kelly, fantastic for Sydney.
Both boys from Wagga too, so what a lot of talent coming out of Wagga. Not 2 fairly impressive athletes and great players coming from that area.
It's a good point, Ruzi, and there's not too much difference between their age. Kelly at, I think, about a year older than Carey. Kelly at 30 and Wayne Carey at 29, so they probably knew each other pretty well. There's Dennis Pagan and Tony Earlshaw. Dennis already on the blower. No McKernan, that's really interesting. Nick Picardo down on the boundary line. When did you find out about that, Nick?
Well, Bruce, you might have noticed during that interview with Dennis Pagan that he mentioned things can come up and bite you just when you least expect it. And that's exactly what happened. Corey McKernan, we understand, did a carp at training on Thursday night. He left training early, but they weren't too concerned about it. They thought he'd come up for it. He obviously hasn't, and they've decided not to risk him. I can also tell you that the Kangaroos are not too happy about their treatment here tonight. They wanted to get out onto the ground and warm up. They weren't able to because of the fireworks. They demanded that the fireworks be cut short, which they were, but the Kangaroos still didn't appear, so they haven't had a warm-up.
So an explosive start to the night. Thanks for that. There's Rodney Eade. Gee, we've seen a worried look on his face so often at this ground. 5 times this year the Swans have lost matches by under 10 points, and the Kangaroos have won 5 matches this year by under 9. It's a huge turnaround. I mean, just a couple going the other way, and these 2 teams wouldn't have much between them. I, for one, think the Swans have got a great chance tonight of causing an upset.
Yeah, look, they certainly have, Bruce, and earlier on in the season at this very ground, the Swans did lead by a pretty comfortable margin, and North Melbourne come home over the top of them in the last quarter, so they'll be keen for that not to happen tonight, the Swans.
Remember that David King goal? We're looking at Stevens and Scholl in the goal square. That's the attacking for the Kangaroos, and then at the other end for the Swans, Schwartz going back there, and Kelly. Wouldn't have seen that a couple of years ago, would we?
No, some interesting matchups there. Paul Kelly, Martin Pike, but I've noticed that Wayne Carey's ducked into the centre bounce. Also, Glenn Archer's gone forward too. Shawble at the moment is loose in the Swans' defence. No, he's not. He's picking up Hewitt, who's gone forward. So Carey is starting in the centre bounce, so that's a big move, which has happened a fair bit this year for the Kangaroos.
Sort of played everywhere, hasn't he? So the start of the big Saturday night game here at the SCG. Good crowd, perfect conditions. Nix gets the first little kick away. Creswell, who's been in good form, particularly in the second half of the season, decides to go long to the pocket. A good effort by Pickett, belting it away. Back to Feast, goes back to Creswell, has to go back. Nix needs it, he's crunched. Oh, that should have been a free kick, I thought. Cochrane all over the top of him. No free kick paid, and Carey gets the first of what should be in many possessions tonight. Kicks almost to centre wing. Great to see Archer back. First game for half a dozen weeks. Back to Cochrane. Gets a quick kick away, only his second game for the season. Seymour's little give, effective to Saddington. Kept his call, but it was a poor handball. Shawble might find the line, and he does. And a boundary throw in. Well, I thought the Swans were a bit stiff there at half forward.
Yeah, could have got a free kick, Matthew Nicks. Johnny Blakey's picking up Michael O'Loughlin too, and Johnny Blakey's been in terrific form, as is Michael O'Loughlin, so that's another terrific matchup. Nick Fosdyke, Byron Pickett, and Simon Feast on Jason McCartney.
Stevens, who Roosie mentioned, probably in a similar boat to Kelly in terms of match fitness. Shawble good. So Wharf, first game for him for 6 weeks, we said. Feast front spot. Fosdyke, well, clean hands, terrible handball. Pike onto it. They must know this ground so well now, the Kangaroos. O'Loughlin, can he go all the way? He's at 49 now, and it doesn't kick it well. Gets to the goal square. Schwartz a bit of a chance, and he's taken a clever mark on Simpson. Decides to come back. Good kick.
Good play, yeah. Terrific play. Just what he had to do. He, you know, from virtually an impossible angle there, and he's seen McPherson there just lurking, 35 out on an angle, and he's a pretty good kick for goal too, McPherson, so this could be a really good start for the Swans.
Plug, the important thing too, he hasn't pushed him outside his range, has he? He's kept him within range.
No, he's usually a very good kick for goal, and we have seen him do it a fair bit, push forward and kick some really good goals for the Swans, and this would really start their night off well if he can thread this one through.
Kicks from about 40 metres in the end. Good looking kick off the boot, just going away at the end. He's played the last 7 weeks. Remember that match when he came back? I think he's been really important for the McPherson.
He has been a very important player, mainly playing off the wing, and he was injured early in the year, had a bad knee injury, and he's come back particularly well. And sometimes it's hard for players once they've missed a lot of football to have an impact in the second half of the year, but certainly Daniel McPherson has been able to do that.
Pickett with a lot of confidence, kicks the ball to centre wing. Stafford and Luff with the Flyers, and also Cochrane was there and Carey. So Cochrane busy early. Luff, Nicks, Fosdyke, clever, and found a little bit of space, and then kicks to centre half forward. O'Loughlin went very early, nearly took a screamer, and then Pike kept down low and did very well back towards Matthews and takes a comfortable chest mark.
And some of the midfield matchup, looks like Harvey and Crouch are going with each other, so that'll be a good contest.
Maxfield, so neat on that left. Again, O'Loughlin, a target, good mark. He's taken the next step, hasn't he? I mean, he's always been a terrific player, but he's gone one step higher this year.
I think one thing that people in the opposition underestimate him is his size. Mickey O'Loughlin's a good 6'3", and he's very strong also. And this is an area I think teams sometimes underestimate him. He's a very good one-on-one mark, and Johnny Blakey's also pretty wiry and pretty strong too, so that's a very good mark from Mickey O'Loughlin.
He's kicked a lot of goals this year, and particularly lately. Good looking kick, he's got it. Well, it's the start the Swans wanted it. They did have a good lead bugger against the Kangaroos in round 5 and let it go away, didn't they? But they needed a good start here.
Oh, they certainly do need a good start. Well done, Mickey O'Loughlin there too. Just used his body well on Johnny Blakey there and just edged him under the ball, took a good mark and went back and ended up kicking a fantastic goal from about 45 out. So that's a great start. That'll do his confidence the world of good.
His kicking's improved. They've obviously worked on it a lot, but his kicking has improved. So the Swans by 7 points. O'Loughlin, his first goal, he got 6 last week. In fact, the Swans have got 24 from Goods and O'Loughlin between them in the last 4 weeks. It's been a terrific return. Nicks to Luff, to McPherson, to Luff again. Awkward looking left foot. Fosdyke and Pickett both have had touches early. Fosdyke terrific there to Creswell at 50. Creswell centering, kicked the way to go. Schwartz makes a contest. Burton got back, and then Simpson's handball to Cochrane. Cochrane quickly. That's a shabby looking kick. It may come off. Archer's onto it. Great to see him back. Won the Norm Smith medal against the Swans in that grand final in 1996, and goes to half forward, and Harvey, a goal kicker, marks.
It was a good kick by Archer. They just held it up, finding Brent Harvey. Bit outside his range, I think, this one.
Just hooked it, looking for distance. Shoal with a bit of a chance. I think it's hit the behind post on the full. It'll be a Swans kick.
He is a noted goal kicker, Harvey. He's kicked 29 this year, but mainly from crumbs. Doesn't take a lot of marks. Mainly a crumbing forward and very, very quick and dangerous around the goal square.
Decided not to sign his contract. He said, I want to wait till the end of the year this week and work it out from there.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of clubs after him, that's for sure.
I reckon he might stay where he is. They're a good club. They don't lose the good ones, do they? Too often belted away. But it's interesting, Brett Cormorley's obviously upset the Storm with all that going on as well. So it's something that can have some sort of effect at times. But this is a little, well, this is nothing in the Storm compared with the Cormorley thing. Hewitt, Clayton, Stevens and Makepeace. Makepeace has been terrific since he's come into this team.
Yeah, they've got a very good bench now, the Kangaroos too.
Clayton hasn't missed a match in 2 years at Arden Street. King gets it back to Harvey, bit up and under to about 25 minutes. Scholl and Saddington front spot. Shawball, a little bit okay to Seymour. Seymour's at his best when he attacks from the back. Good, such an important player for the Swans. He's almost their barometer. If he has a big match, they usually win. Kicks the ball almost to half forward. Blakey, O'Loughlin, good contest. And gee, Roosy, it's like two love childs there for you, Blakey and O'Loughlin.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, two terrific players, good friends of mine. Johnny Blakey, that's a good mark backing back, and probably Mickey O'Loughlin had a bit of the sit on him then, so that was well done by John Blakey.
Not such a good kick. Nix really should have taken from the mark, and then Matthews. Stevens gets hold of him. Well done, McPherson to Maxfield, and then attacks to centre half forward. Good looking kick. Kelly's in the box. Good mark. Gee, great hands, Plugger.
That was a good strong mark, wasn't it? I thought the ball was probably just popped up a little bit at him, and he had to break stride, but gee, in the end it was a real strong mark.
Mongrel kick.
It was a mongrel punter, wasn't it?
Taken by Carey, so one captain to another, but it wasn't intentional. Colbert was very, very good last week against the Cats. To Bell, and what a player he is. Just the one bounce, left foot inside to Archer playing up forward. Handball to Burton. Burton did the job on Stephen King last week. Now David King, well-weighted kick. That's a terrific kick to Harvey. Oh, wonderful stuff.
That is class, isn't it? It's got class written all over it. King was just fantastic. His vision was terrific, and he finished it off with a beautiful pass. And Harvey, a bit more in range this time, Rosie, isn't he?
Yeah, he probably should kick that, but if you want to talk about the skills of AFL football, that was just pinpoint accuracy from David King to a player running flat out, and he didn't break stride, but you would expect Brent Harvey to kick his 30th goal for the year.
As a forward, it would have been great to lead to a bloke like David King, because you know every time he gets it, he's going to tuck it under his wing, he's going to run 10 or 20, and he's going to kick it long, and that's what it's all about. Good
Harvey's kicked the goal, yeah.
Terrific.
Interesting Carey's role too at the moment. Looks like Carey's playing in the middle of the ground, but he's sort of playing as the ruckman. You've got Burton, who's taking the ruck contest, but trying to push forward a little bit and taking Greg Stafford and making Greg Stafford pick him up. So Carey's really playing behind the centre square as a sweeping type role. Also interesting, Lee Colbert versus Adam Goods should be a very, very good contest as well. Colbert's form certainly picked up over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
So Harvey's goal brings the Kangaroos to within a point. Good start for both teams here. Bell and Nix, neither player giving a centimetre off the ground. The Kangaroos back into the centre. Creswell's toe poke effective to O'Loughlin, to Swass. Released him on his preferred side too, so it was a good play. Fosdyke used his body really well on Pickett. Pike gets back, and then Pike breaks the tackle a bit too easily, I think, in the end. Then to centre wing up and under. Luff, normally a good mark. Got pushed underneath. Matthews has given to Schwass, and then Archer got rid of Schwass. A couple of old teammates, and he hurt him too. Schwass is really writhing in pain here. I think he's winded. Let's hope that's all it is. Creswell kicks to centre half forward. Gee, feast one about Mark Carey there. Not paid. Carey's handball a bit sloppy, and then Nick's on the left. He's a very skillful player, but under terrific pressure coming from King. Forced out there, Schwass.
Yeah, he just was really open there, Wayne Swass, as he was coming through the pack, and Glenn Archer coming their way. Just watch him, he didn't quite see it, but he was nothing untoward about it, just a good solid hip and shoulder. But unfortunately for Wayne Swass, here we see very wide open, and Archer just met him with a hip and shoulder.
Classic bumpery, wasn't it? Textbook stuff from Archer.
He is coming off, boys.
Thanks, Nick. Abraham. It's good stuff there by Crouch, just to hold him up and force him to handball and cause an error. Creswell's been terrific. Should have used Maxfield. That was the go. He's gone to Feast, now to Maxfield, but so slow. That's poor play, firstly from Creswell, and then by Feast.
Well, I think the runner will be out there from the Swans bench. That was really an opportunity gone begging there, because they should have went to the longest option, and they end up turning it over to the boundary.
sucking it in,
Yes,
isn't he?
yeah, he's sucking it in. You wonder, there's possibly maybe a rib or something like that, or hopefully for Swans fans and Wayne Squash, it maybe just winded, but maybe a rib injury there.
I think they're a little concerned about the rib, Roosey, but they're hoping, like you say, that it is just winded at the moment.
Bell stretching Creswell and then kicks to Carey at half forward. Shawball, what a recruit he's been for the Swans. Left foot coming from shoulder, centre half forward, front spot Seymour. Archer's been busy and ties it up with the behind.
He has been busy, Glenn Archer, and one thing that will allow Carey to do is play on the ball a little bit more with Glenn Archer up there, because he will give you a contest, even if he's not getting the football, he will give you a contest. We see him here, Glenn Archer. Thanks very much, old teammate. How are you tonight? Welcome back.
Playing the Premiership together, playing 96, but long forgotten that sort of stuff. Luff's kick to Goods. Hewitt with him, and Lang got back. Good hands. He's very impressive, Lang.
It's been a good pickup for him this year, Lang. He's kicked his 17 goals and been able to play forward and back, and he's certainly a great competitor, that's for sure, and that was a good mark backing back into the pack.
If Capuano comes back and McKernan, this is a very tall team, isn't it? They do have a lot of tools, the Kangaroos.
Yeah, they wouldn't be unhappy about playing under a closed stadium at Colonial, would they?
Kick to centre half forward, couple of big flyers, including Saddington, and then pushed right off. It was Crouch. Toe poke, couldn't quite control it there, Matt. Pace here. Harvey back to Grant. Terrific smother from Saddington. There's Wayne Schloss. He'll be keen to get back. What a glorious career he's had with both these clubs, the Kangaroos and the Swans. Best and fairest of both. Saddington, good stuff.
It's actually very rare you get a swap like a Swash Grant, where both clubs benefit so enormously from the two new players coming to the club.
Seymour to O'Loughlin, back to Seymour. O'Loughlin looked up, there wasn't much on. Then Luff. Luff held it up pretty well. To Ben Matthews, hasn't missed a game. Out wide, Kelly and Pike. Pike gets a second go. That's good play, but then held up the second time. Good decision.
I think both teams look pretty well on song tonight, Plugger. It's really opened, the game's really opened at a pretty furious pace.
I think it's pretty good so far. I think a couple of skill errors then, as we just seen one that Benny Matthews should have really hit his target then, Paul Kelly. He had a break on his opponent, Pike, but the kick did fall a bit short. So there have been a couple of costly skill errors already.
Kick by Blakey to the space. Burton trying to rove it, and Shawball should go off the ground. He does, only gets it as far as Grant. Ahmad onto him in a hurry, then back to Lang. Lang's left footer under pressure. O'Loughlin playing deep. Harvey goes early, and O'Loughlin probably would have got a free kick anyway. Has taken a safe mark in the back pocket. So both ends early, Mickey O'Loughlin. How often have we seen him have huge first quarters here in Sydney this year?
The Swans have been very good in the opening halves, haven't they? Even the games earlier they lost against the Kangaroos was one of them. They were about 4 or 5 goals up halfway through the second quarter, so certainly they've been able to open their games very well up here at the SCG.
O'Loughlin forced to go for distance here, gets almost to centre wing. Saddington a flyer, and also there was Simpson. Back to Saddington. Saddington a bit off the side of the boot. Goods and Colbert. Goods did very well. The handball under pressure, then got to kick him, but good play by the Kangaroos to put him under the gun. Burl Kelly's got him in the back, unfortunately.
Just a crude tackle in the end there. He had him dead in the water there, and just, you watch it here, he was gone. Paul Kelly just pushed him in the back there.
Bell certainly fell forward with the tackle to make the most of it, but it was there. McCartney in the back pocket, up to half-back, kicks to centre wing. Carey launches himself, 3 or 4 to go with him. Again, O'Loughlin to Matthews. Matthews out to Nix down. McPherson on here, but a bit short. Nix is going to go to the corridor to centre half forward. Kelly, the marking option, which is very interesting. McPherson sits and waits to Stafford. Handball effective. Maxfield should kick a goal. Lines the mark, hooks it, not coming back or behind.
Just on that forward thrust, Plugger, I think if Paul Kelly's going to play at full forward, they just can't afford to bomb it up in the air to him.
I think, and he's a great option up there, don't get me wrong there, but they really need to open it up a little bit more and give him a bit of space to use his pace into. A couple of times now that we've seen he's led, they've lobbed the ball up a little bit, and there's been too many defenders there ready to give a hand, and it's they really need to open it up and give him some space.
Poor handball by Nix. McPherson terrific to Crouch. Crouch forced to kick in a hurry. O'Loughlin will come from the side. Feast was in the front. Stevens bangs it out. Now they're on here, the Kangas. Gee, that was well set up with Harvey, Carey. Shawball onto him. Carey to about 55-60 here.
This is the interesting kick here, whether he goes for goal, which is probably not outside his range.
He's going to give it a go. And he's kicked it magnificently. What a goal! That is a good call, Roosy. That's a long bomb by Carey.
He has a habit of doing that, just playing on, and just gets a little bit of an advantage when he does play on. Just goes to his right-hand side and kicks it. But just from a Swans point of view there, if we get a chance to see it, Burton was in the goal square and really blocked Brad Seymour. Perhaps if Greg Stafford, the Swans ruckman, had been down on the line, it possibly could have touched that ball. So a little bit of bad defensive play from the Sydney Swans there, but a great kick by Carey.
He's set so many matches up for the Kangaroos over the years, particularly this year in the first half. He has trouble after half-time with all the problems he's got, the chronic problems in the groin area and the shoulders, to run a game completely out to his own high standards. So can he impose himself in the opening half here tonight? Lang to Luff. That may sound critical of probably the #1 player in the game. Kick by Creswell. Wide to Maxfield, to half forward, to Kelly. Just got to be accurate when they go to Kelly for... Well done, Kelly. That was good stuff. Armat running onto it, takes the mark. His acceleration helped there, Armat. His niftiness to get back because he was going the wrong way.
And what that shows you too, Paul Kelly, the advantage they will have with him down there is his ground play too, Plugger, because he's fantastic on the ground. So if they miss him occasionally on the fly with the ball, he can still do magical things off the ground.
So his second and third efforts are just unequal in the league. I think he's really strong in that area. Great kick too from Robbie Armat.
He's had his best season, Armat. It's really the year that he's come of age. Remember in his 50th, he kicked 5-5 against Port Adelaide here, and he's averaging a goal a match, and he's now a permanent fixture in a team that he has struggled to really hold a spot in over the last couple of years.
He could be such a great player, couldn't he? He's just got everything. He's got great skills. He's got unbelievable pace. Probably the quickest player in the league, I think, especially over 20 or 30 yards. And like tonight, if the Swans are really going to get a win on the board here tonight, he's really going to have to play a big game and probably kick 3 goals himself. But look, the opportunities will certainly arise there with the way the forward line's structured now.
Grant off, Clayton on for the Roos.
Thanks, Nick. Nick McArdle on the boundary. Carey belts it away. Kelly just spoke to the umpires a moment ago. Nix goes back to Matthews. Matthews very wide and running it out. It's amazing to see Kelly here. I remember getting such a shock when he turned up in Perth at his Pike.
I reckon Pike's done a hamstring, Bruce. He's just sitting to the bench then. He looks a bit proppy. You wouldn't be surprised to see him go off the ground.
Stafford and Burton. Kelly puts a tackle on Stevens. Back to Steve-O. Ducks down low. Gets to McPherson, I should say. Then to Bell. Good handball. Releases Simpson. Simpson looks up and then bangs to centre half forward. Shawble front spot. Good strong mark. There's so much to like about him. Maxfield started well. Played his 200th last week. Could he kick a long bomb? At 60 metres. Gives it all he's got. O'Loughlin in the goal square. The fly coming from Goods. It's right in the goals. O'Loughlin trying to get it out. Gee, Colvin. O'Loughlin kicks a goal. It's a goal to Nicky.
Well, I think we're going to have to see that again, because I don't know if that ball came out and Nicky O'Loughlin kicked the ball off the ground. So, you know, Stewie Maxfield has been in terrific form in the last month, and his run off half-back tonight has already been good. But let's see if we can pick it up here. Johnny Blakey just trying to get the ball in there. Oh, Colbert tried to shove it through, and it came off Adam Goods' foot. Bounced onto Mickey O'Loughlin, so a bit of a lucky goal there from the Sydney Swans, and a bit unlucky for the Kangaroos.
So 2 to O'Loughlin. Gee, what a goal that was. Here we have another look. Did he try tunnel ball here? Lee Colbert, he's trying to get it back. And then, yep, it's a goal.
Just bounced off Adam Goods' foot straight into the path of Mickey O'Loughlin. He's had 8 possessions, kicked 2 goals already. Playing up the ground a bit also, and certainly creating some problems for the Kangaroos.
Gee, Stafford, that's as good as a kick, isn't it? To centre half forward, Pickett. Oh, wonderful skills.
2 players down behind play. I think they might have clashed heads. Simon Feast and Lee Colbert, I think it is.
A kick to full forward. Lovely mark by Saddington.
Pike has done a hamstring, guys.
Who's that, Nick?
Pike has done a hamstring. Good call from Plugger. He came straight off virtually after he said, and they're getting the stretcher ready for this one too.
So Martin Pike off, and it looks in a bad way, Feast, unfortunately, here for the Swans.
They both ran hard at the football, very hard. I think they may have clashed heads, and that's Simon Feast down there, and doesn't look too good at the moment. Lee Colbert is up and walking around, but he also doesn't look like he knows what planet he's on at the moment. So let's just hope that Simon Feast is okay, but it certainly seemed to be just a clash of heads.
It's cold, but it'll probably come off, you would think.
Schwartz ready to come back on too.
Yeah, just head on head, and that's the result. Not too good for Simon Feast. He's getting up, which is good to see. And Lee Colbert looks a bit groggy, but he's certainly going back into the fray. And it looks like he'll continue, so hopefully not too much damage has come out of that clash there.
It's just symbolic of the commitment of both clubs in this first quarter, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has been. And also, it's using here too, Plugger, both teams are getting together in a huddle, which is normally what happens now when there's a bit of a stop in play, and it's good to see both captains probably getting their teams together, although Paul Kelly's down one into the ground, so obviously Wayne Carey will have a chat to his boys, but certainly a ploy that's used all the time now.
Yeah, well, I think they've got a few things to talk about, it's a good chance to talk about things that are going right and things that are probably not going so right, where they can improve. And it's unfortunate we've had a couple of minutes break there. It's a pretty heavy collision there by both players, so it's good to see at least Simon Feast is being able to walk off the ground. But I'm sure Paul Kelly and Wayne Carey have just had a bit of a word to their respective teammates just to keep them going for the last 6 or 7 minutes of this first quarter.
Interesting that Colbert has stayed out there. I mean, they're obviously comfortable that he's okay.
Yeah, most of the times they'll certainly leave it up to the player, and occasionally when they do get knocked to the head, they'll ask him a question, and sometimes it's as simple as what's the score or where are we playing, and normally if they can answer that, they stay on the ground.
Nix gets it short from Fosdyke. So Swans by 7 points here, and a bright opening to what should be a great game. Bit up and under. Kelly's a target, as he's been so often in the opening 20 minutes. Bell reading it well off the back. Such a busy player. Grant, good mark. Kicked 4 goals against the Swans here, but he's dried up in recent weeks. 5 in his last 11, Grant. Now to Carey, getting a big round of boos here. The captain, big fly coming from Clayton, is on the ground. Matthews good, and then Crouch, boundary throw, and he'll get away with it. There's Martin Piper, as Nick confirmed what Plugger suggested and feared that he might have just done a little hammy there.
And guys, I've seen people look better, but they tell me that Lee Colbert is fine and will be staying out there.
Good. Probably a bit high on McPherson, who's been busy. Stafford runs away. Goods versus Colbert. So here's Colbert's first crack at it, and he doesn't look 100%. Goods away from him and could expose him a bit here. Open goal square. Not a great kick. The bounce will have to be a good one for it to be a goal, and it's a behind.
And that's probably a good contest to test just how fit Lee Colbert is, but he did look a little bit lost there, Plugger, in that one-on-one contest.
Yeah, he certainly did look a bit phased, and Adam Goods just got him out of the road too easy, didn't he?
King gets some good mileage out of all that, and Clayton's got the free kick against Maxfield. The advantage given to Blakey, to Burton, to Blakey. What a marvel he is. Turns 34 on Monday. Goes back to Shannon Grant. Decides to go with a long one to fall forward. Carey and Shawbull. Good contest. Free kick to Shawbull.
And I'll tell you what, that is tough to do what Andrew Shawbull did there, and that's hold Wayne Carey out, because Wayne Carey is without question the strongest player in the league, and to do that was a fantastic effort from Shawbull.
Ahmad had a chance to take Colbert on there and doesn't do that. In fact, kicks into the man on the mark, which is a dreadful result. But fortunately for the Swans, there's a slip, and there's a chance now as Goods gets it back. Kelly to go against Clayton at centre-half forward. Clayton brings it down. McPherson to put the Swans a couple in front. Goes through and kicks the goal.
I'll tell you what, Byron Pickett nearly mowed Daniel McPherson down there. He was coming at 1 million miles an hour, and I don't know whether Daniel McPherson knew that Pickett was there, but that was a fantastic chase. Good contest by Paul Kelly, but if we can see here on the screen, Daniel has a little look, but have a look at Byron Pickett coming in, and that's just great stuff from the Kangaroos player. Knew that Daniel McPherson was most likely to kick the goal, but still pinned the ears back and chased him down as fast as he could, and in the end, nearly picked him up.
As Ruzi said, Pickett was flying there, wasn't he, at the end?
Boy, I tell you what, it only just got through too, didn't it?
So Stafford and Burton, 4-3-2-1 now. Simpson goes to half forward. Seymour and Archer. Archer, who started brightly, is about 70 metres from goal. Good kick by Archer and finds the big spider.
And this seems to be a plan at the moment. Looks like Dennis is happy to let Spider Burton actually push forward, and he's creating a few problems. So Greg Stafford will need to probably tighten up if Spider Burton's going to continually push forward.
Played a terrific game against Stephen King last week. Not going to be a goal, and Saddington again, the high flyer. Just 20 years of age, Saddington. Huge prospect, kicks to Luff, almost off. He's had a couple of reprieves this year, Luffy, when he's been dropped and come back into the team at the death and played really well, hasn't he? Goes to McPherson. It's been busy, McPherson, and so's the interchange bench been Nick McArdle in the first quarter.
Certainly has been, Bruce. The latest on Simon Feast, they're not concerned about any facial injury, which we thought may have been a possibility, but he is concussed. 20 minutes the minimum because the stretcher was on the ground, so they're just going to check him and see how he's coming on.
Maxfield's kick to Kelly, Blakey with him, and a boundary throw.
I think Dennis has made a change too. Byron Pickett has gone on to Mickey O'Loughlin. What a contest that promises to be too. As Winston Abraham looks like he's getting some work on the hamstrings as well.
McKernan dropped out, as we've told you. Hewitt came in for him, so already a blow to the Kangas. Good play, Cochrane, but then just couldn't get the handball away. Off the ground, and it's worked well for Archer. Archer at centre wing. Decides to go long. Carey the target. Goes for Shawble, good again. Bell read it brilliantly. Real Rovers goal. That's magnificent stuff.
That is a fantastic goal there, and that illustrates the way the Kangaroos do play their footy. Just get it long into the forward line. Carey, 1 against 3, as he often is. We see here's a good spoil by Shawble coming out, but have a look at Bell. Plugger picking that up at top pace. That's pretty hard to do that.
Yeah, it's a real art, isn't it? Get front and square like that and being able to read the ball off the pack and just pick it up like that. That is what being a great rover is all about.
He started up well too, Peter Bell. 6 kicks and 2 handballs and 1 goal. He's been a prolific ball winner for him this year, averaging 25, just over 25 possessions a game, so he started off in red-hot form again.
Poor bounce. Creswell had to go against Burton. Simpson came, well done, Stafford. The bounce eludes a couple. Simpson, Stafford. The handball by Simpson is a bit wayward to Fosdyke. Okay, just outside O'Loughlin's range, I think, at about 53. Kicking's probably improved 10-15% this year. So perhaps he could long bomb it. She's kicked it well. That is a great kick. It's not going to be a goal. Or is it? Or is it? He's kicked his third.
I tell you, whenever we get a chance, the look on Mickey O'Loughlin's face, Plugger, when that ball went through, he could not believe it. And I was a little bit critical of the Swans earlier on when Greg Stafford didn't get down onto the goal line. But you've got to be equally as critical as the Kangaroos here, because that ball went through at about chest height. And there's no, God, actually bounced before it went through. So that's just terrible.
There really is no excuse in that situation for the ball not to be marked or punched or whatever. It just should no way known be that should go through for a goal should it, in that situation.
Well, what you'd like to see your ruckman do there, being Spider Burton, is actually start behind the line. He actually got caught about 5 yards in front of the line. He was running backwards towards the goal square. He needs to start behind the line, run in, and it would have been a regulation spoil, rush behind instead of a goal.
They probably, like us, didn't think O'Loughlin could get it right to the line.
They probably just predicted that he just couldn't quite kick that far, Bruce, and just totally misread it. Anyway, it's a goal and a great start for the Swans.
And to O'Loughlin, he's kicked 3 in the opening term. Schwass gets it, tries the torpedo, doesn't really get onto it, but does get good distance, but it's a poor result in the end. Blakey takes it. So 5 goals to 3 and a terrific opening term. King smothered. Could O'Loughlin kick a 4th? No, he does the right thing and gives it to Nix. Well, Mickey O'Loughlin is playing a quarter to remember here. He's had 7 kicks, 5 marks, and kicked 3 goals.
And I tell you, when you're playing on him, you don't need this to happen. Your teammate to kick it straight to him, and Byron Pickett must be shaking his head going, I'm having enough trouble as it is, fellas, without you kicking it down his throat.
Kick 3 against the Bombers in a terrific goal-kicking effort Nix this year, so he's not a bad goal kicker, but have a look at that. I shouldn't have mentioned it, should I? That really would have given the Swans
that could
the
be
big edge.
That can be really costly at the end of the day, that one, Bruce. It's just a regulation shot from 35-40 out, and you know, you should be able to kick 8 out of 10 of those. That's really disappointing for Matthew Nix's behalf there.
David King in short. Gets to Brent Harvey. Harvey very short again to Grant.
Lee Colbert's moved up the forward line, so that's possibly an indication that he's not 100%, but certainly he can create problems for Sydney. Rowan Wolf's picked him up.
Harvey's kick. O'Loughlin will fancy himself against Blakey here. Ball comes to ground. Armatt can use that pace you talked about. Gets inside 50. That's a great kick. It's a goal. What a goal!
That is a terrific goal, Plug. It just, we mentioned about his pace earlier on, and that's an illustration of what Robbie Armatt can do.
We talked about Peter Bell only a couple of minutes ago on how he hit the ball flat out and kicked a great Rovers goal. Well, that's virtually the same story up the other end there. Just terrific skill, turned around from 60 out, ran his 10 and just kicked it from a very hard angle. And that's a fantastic goal. Very inspirational from Robbie Armatt there.
Was never going to miss, was it?
It was a great kick.
He did look confident, didn't he? At no stage did he look like passing the ball off. And that's what you want your forward pocket half forwards to do. If they get a chance, have a shot for goal.
Well, this is a handy break now. Schwass, good vision. Goods gets it back to Wharf and smothered by Stevens. There's a free kick to the Swans, I think, off the ball to Goods. Might have been held up.
Colbert just held on to him once the ball was out of play.
So not long to go in this opening term. Goods out wide. If the Swans can get another one, this would be a very big lead. Wharf outside 50.
He needs to get on quickly. Not, as you said, not long to go, so he needs to get it in there.
Well, tell us, Tony, could he make it from here?
Oh, well, he's not really a noted goal kicker, Bruce. He's going to be kicking from probably 60 metres, and he's going to have to do it.
Looks like he's
going to do a drop punt.
Like.
I reckon he'd have to kick a torpedo there to even get anywhere near the distance.
He's only kicked 5 goals in his career. He's actually kicked it pretty well, to be truthful, but it's come up short in the end. 6-4 to 3-1. Terrific quarter. A really top-class quarter of footy where the Swans made the running early, challenged by the Kangaroos, but then came away again at the end, and they've got a handy break at quarter time. It's 40 to 19. O'Loughlin was the star with his 3 goals. Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground. Hope you're enjoying it. What a terrific first quarter of footy. O'Loughlin, the big story, with his 7 kicks, 5 marks and 3 goals. So quarter time, it's the Swans 6-4, the Kangaroos 3-1.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000. Brought to you by Harvey Norman. The all-new Nissan Pulsar. The bank that helps businesses make it happen. And Carlton Draft, unbeatable.
What do you think? Do the Swans get enough out of it, 21 points? Because you've got to bury a team like the Kangaroos, don't you?
Oh, look, I think they were pretty good, Bruce. I think they'd certainly be happy with a 6-goal first quarter. Mickey O'Loughlin's been fantastic. He's given them a target. I just think sometimes when they've gone forward, they've been a bit crowded. There's not enough room for the likes of a Paul Kelly to lead into. And I really think they could hurt them more if they just open the forward line up a little bit and just let the players work a little bit into space.
I think one thing we know about the Kangaroos, Bruce, is you're never safe, are you, really? Yeah, they can kick 5 or 6 goals with their simple game plan, getting it down long to their forward line, crumbing players like Bell Harvey. They can kick 5 or 6 goals quicker than any team in the league, basically.
Where do you see Carey playing mostly tonight? Because Shelville's matched up pretty well with him since he went to the centre-half forward, full forward area halfway through the first quarter.
Look, I think it's a good idea to get Carey up the ground just to free him up. But if they're going to win, they need to put him at centre forward because he needs to kick goals.
Nick McArdle's down there. Terrific start, Nick. You've got Steve Malaxos with you.
Thanks, Bruce. Yeah, Steve, what a quarter of footy. The endeavour from both sides.
Yeah, it was a real good quarter of footy as far as we're concerned. North had some good patches of play as well, but it's pretty hot.
Mickey O'Loughlin, brilliant.
Yeah, he took a good mark early. He's a terrific player, Mick. North Melbourne obviously pay him a lot of attention. We hope he can keep going.
Good on you. Thanks, Steve.
So the Swans with his start, and O'Loughlin, as he's done so often this year in Sydney, has made a blinding start to a match. Kicked 6 last week in a best on the ground performance. He's kicked 41 goals going into this match, which is a great return, and King's got him now, which is interesting, isn't it?
Third opponent already. He's had John Blakey, Byron Pickett and David King, and King's a very creative player, Plugger, so it's hard for creative players and running players just to stick with a man for 3 quarters.
Yeah, David King likes to attack the ball. He likes to set the play up off the half-back flank. So, look, if he does that, if there's a turnover, it's certainly going to leave a lot of room, and they'll probably find Mick O'Loughlin will be left by himself. So, although they'd like him to still set up the play, David King, he's really going to have to keep a close eye on Michael O'Loughlin.
Different setup here, Carey in the forward line, and the Kangaroos are basically playing across half forward there, whereas the Swans have got 4 players almost in the goal square, including Goods and Ahmad. Ahmad with 2 goals in the opening turn, he was busy. McPherson's been a good player, kicks to half forward, nicks Pickett on. Pickett is so quick. Nearly clicked the boundary umpire here. Nicks can't get him. Oh, that was a contest. Good take, half volley by Clayton. Sweeps a handball to Stevens. Stevens looks up, decides to bang to centre half forward. Good contest there. Hewitt beaten for it. Saddington's been very, very good to Crouch. Crouch goes long to fall forward. Goods pulled off it by McCartney. Should have got a free kick, to be truthful. And the kick straight to the line. What's Simon Feast's situation, Nick?
Bruce, they're pretty pleased with his progress, actually. They've spent a lot of time talking to him just to make sure he's okay, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him back at some stage.
So that's some good news for the Swans. Gee, I thought Goods was stiff.
A little 3-way going on too with Darren Creswell, Anthony Stevens and Peter Bell as well. So I think Creswell's trying to pick up Bell.
Goods down. O'Loughlin's handball was too hot for Nicks. Archer able to get it. Good kick by Archer. Stretching Colbert to centre wing and out of bounds. So Colbert looks as if he's made a good recovery here, and Feast, as Nick McCardle told us, probably able to come back.
Just the stats for the first quarter: 105 disposals to the Sydney Swans, and the Kangaroos 70. So a huge discrepancy in the amount of football each team got.
Bolton not used yet. He's had some ankle problems. You think if he was fully fit, he'd be having a crack, but they are playing so well, the Swans. It's hard to fiddle with them. Simpson's kick to half forward. Clayton read it well, but didn't take it. Then butters up with a pretty good tackle. Luff will be pleased to run it over, and he does. Boundary throw-in. Kangaroos will want to just steady things here and hold the Swans for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Not an insurmountable break by any stretch, remembering that they came from 28 points behind in the third quarter here against the Swans earlier this year. Clayton read it best, gives it off to Stevens, and Stevens' kick is going to miss and behind. So be disappointed with that. Clayton probably should have had a shot himself. He was in a good position.
Yeah, Stevens being a left-footer too, had to swing back on his left foot, but good signs. Only had 3 possessions in the first quarter, Anthony Stevens, but he's had a couple of touches, and he is a very important player for the Kangaroos in their push to win back-to-back flags.
Saddington in the back pocket, got a shot from Schwass. He's got McPherson down the line. That's a good kick. He spotted him. Wasn't a lot of room for error there. McPherson, normally a terrific field kick, finds Luff. So the Swans have done pretty well here to get it almost to centre wing, and then Luff down the line. Stafford's worked very hard here, and he's found him. Good build up to Shawble, forced to go inside, and then kicks to centre half forward to the hot spot. Good! Terrific flight. Armat's little give. Seymour comes back. Could O'Loughlin kick a 4th goal? He is a great player. It was touched by another great player. Right on the line by Pickett.
Yeah, well done by Byron Pickett. Mickey O'Loughlin just didn't get enough on that, but fantastic work by Byron Pickett, just charging back into the goal square. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, gee, I'll tell you what, as we've mentioned a couple of times, he is a super quick player, Byron Pickett.
Think it was a goal, Plutton?
Oh, look, it's been hard to tell from you, Bruce, but
it's
been very close.
Shawball's fly. We've seen some close ones at that end this year, haven't we? Being touched on the line. Remember Schwass against Collingwood?
It was an interesting one, Kangaroos versus Richmond too. When
this is interesting too.
Here we go, yeah. Paul Kelly getting involved there. Don't know who's that on the bottom of the pack. Is that Makepeace, Troy Makepeace?
Well, they're not doing that at the moment, are they?
No, certainly not. A couple of hard characters there too.
Well, they've talked the talk this week, the Swans. They've got to walk the walk now, don't they? And they're doing it at the moment.
Well, they certainly are at the moment. They're 6-5 to 3-2. They're in command, but as we've said so often, the Kangaroos you've got to be on your game for 120 minutes because they can strike and strike fast.
Stafford down towards McPherson. It's a hot footy at the moment. Blakey to Harvey, to almost up to centre-half for Colbert from the side almost. Then Wharf held up. The handball's terrible. Schwass under the gun from Abraham. Got rid of it in a hurry. Simpson paddles forward. Carey, terrific tackle firstly from Shawball to hold him in the first place. And Wharf to come in. Wry smile on the captain's face.
And he's gone back to a more traditional role, Wayne Carey, back to full forward, and it looks like they're going to play him down there and maybe get the rest of the boys to spread out.
Simpson, Schwass, free kick going to, that's against Stafford. Just must have been too high.
Yeah, I think that was the call from the umpire, certainly too high, but I don't know, we didn't see it. We'll get a replay here.
Well, he got him late, didn't he? He did get him high, but
he went over his shoulder.
So right in front, Simpson kicks the goal, the first goal of the second quarter.
And that one there too, really not the fault of Greg Stafford. Even though he gave away the free kick in the end, Simpson was the third man into that ruck contest. Burton was holding Stafford one out. So really that's Simpson's direct opponent. As we watch it here, Simpson's direct opponent should have obstructed Simpson's run to the football there, and it allowed him to pluck the ball out of the air and have a shot on goal. But that should never have happened. And Simpson should have never have been allowed free access to that ruck contest to jump over Greg Stafford.
Simpson's goal brings the Kangaroos back 26 to 41, 15 points in it. Burton's handball. Crouch had an area in the end. Harvey was good to work him out of it. And then Stafford's handball is very poor. Misses its target. Pickett to get back. Gee, Pickett, you don't see that too often. Feisty, Pickett and Bill just got a bit mixed up with it. Calling for a free kick. Stafford was terrific. And then at 50, loads it up. That's a wonderful kick. It's a wonderful kick. It's a goal. A sensational effort.
Yeah, great kick from the big fella there. But I think there was a bit of a lack of talk on the halfback flank there. It was Byron Pickett and was it Peter Bell? It looked like they just didn't talk to each other. Pickett was coming back, looked up, expecting Bell to go for the ball. As we see it here, just the two of them, no talk, allowed Nick Fosdyke to come in, and that's the result. On the ground, if you're not going to talk to your teammate, the worst can happen, and certainly Greg Stafford, what a great kick from outside 50.
And can you think of two players that attack it harder than Bell and Pickett normally?
Yeah, look, there's no question there was just a mix-up.
Just a mix-up, yeah, just a lack of talk in that situation. It's been a costly lack of talk.
Well, Stafford's even the ledger. I mean, it was a bit stiff to give the free kick away, but that was a really outstanding single effort there. A kick from Stevens, front spot, Seymour. So the Swans, very promising here. Shawball. Luff will have to get rid of it. Poor effort by Luff. Left-hand handball was the go. Bell, back to Harvey, just belts it forward. Matthews sits and waits, got it down low and then missed the target completely. Maxwell the target, and then Clayton bangs it in towards full forward. Awkward bounce. Grant was clever. Can Stafford come across? Grant, it might be a goal. Getting back though was Matthews are behind. Swans just missing targets too often under heat.
Yeah, just that Ben Matthews handball on the ground, just too hard to his teammate. This game's been littered with fantastic contests, and I look up the Swans forward line. Glenn Archer versus Paul Kelly, Tony Lockett.
It's a good contest, isn't it? The good thing about the Swans forward line at the moment, though, there's only two players inside the 50, so there is a bit of room there now.
Don't see Carey drop them like that too often. Kelly getting involved, and then Carey towards the line, boundary throwing.
Yeah, once again, Wayne Carey, just, I reckon, a lack of talk there. When a player's going back for the fly of the ball, he's got no idea. As we see it, he would have no idea what's coming behind him. And just got to be talk from the player coming behind to let him know that he's either in trouble and he's going to get hit. You'd rather know you're going to get hit than not know anything was coming at all. So another lack of talk from the Kangaroos there.
McCartney, good effort to bustle and hustle Goods out of it and gain about 30 metres.
He's been good for him, McCartney, this year too, hasn't he? He's really, since Mickey Martin's been out and Glenn Archer, he's been a terrific player, Jason McCartney.
So Kangaroos just in attack. McCartney again. Well done to Blakey, and then Blakey bangs forward to about 30 metres. Seymour got a high one from Colbert, play on call. Grant, Stevens, Shawball, boundary throw in the pocket.
Brucey,
I'm just wondering if you think that Carey might be struggling with the shoulder a bit, just from ground level. That mark he tried to take back here, he didn't seem to extend.
It's certainly one thing that Carey has been going through over the last 3 to 4 years, and we see he's got both shoulders taped up, and he doesn't take a lot of marks now with his arms extended because he does have a lot of problems with those shoulders. So that's probably a valid point, Nick.
Carey front spot, just laid it down. Abraham, Seymour, well done to Schwartz. Switch up in direction, confidently to Maxfield. This is the important kick now. Armat's working hard. He's going to go down the line. Wonderful kick to Stafford. Should use Armat outside. Inside he goes to Creswell. Poor option now to Armat, who's kicked two. Would have sit. He was a bit anxious in the end. He's still got enough pace to get around. Left foot right there. Well, in the end, it was a waste because they were really on if the first ball had gone to Armat.
Yeah, all that was needed was the bounce. Just had to be kind for Robbie Armat then, and it could have been a totally different story. But that's what you get when you've got a funny-shaped ball groove.
Well, he extended pretty well there, didn't he, the kid? That's a good mark by Carey.
Yeah, and he'd be happy with that. Extended his arms up well there, and he's just a fantastic player. And it doesn't matter about the Bronx cheers from the crowd. He'll continue to present himself tonight, and by the end of the night, he'll have his 15 to 20 possessions. There's no question about that, Wayne Carey.
They're having a feast, the crowd. They've got Shannon Grant to boot, former Swan. They've got Carey to boot. Umpires, boy, what a night out in Sydney. Matthews, it's obligatory, the umpires, isn't it?
I tell you what, it's a big crowd too that's built up here tonight, Bruce.
Stafford, good switch up. Oh, Nix. Now he's got Fosdyke in the centre if he can find him. Goes to Schwartz. He can use Fosdyke. Decides not to. Just outside his range. Loads it up. Good to know Lachlan. Well, they spoil one another. That's a terrible return. And Schwartz probably should have used Fosdyke. He could have kicked the goal. He was 15 metres closer out of play.
Well, we've talked about no talk there, Plugger. Adam Goods really should have left that ball for Mickey O'Loughlin to mark then.
Yeah, look, it's a tough call. Both players are pretty keen to get their hands on it, but yeah, in that situation, it looked like Mickey O'Loughlin's limping a bit now. I don't know whether he might have corked up in the thigh or something there, but that will be a big blow if he's injured.
Physically sure was there's O'Loughlin. I remember a few weeks ago that we thought he wouldn't play for a couple of weeks, didn't we? Goods has actually injured him, I think.
Yeah, look, you don't want your teammate to do that. And as you said, they're both going hard at the ball, but I just felt Adam Goods would have been better to let Michael go back with the ball and take that mark.
Shawville physically doing well against Carey. Clayton's tackle was effective. Good hands by Stevens and Vision to Grant. Just back to Seymour. They're having trouble getting past half forward at the moment, the Kangaroos. Nick's in a hurry. Belts to centre half forward. Creswell will fancy himself here. It was a good effort at the back, though. Comes back to Shawville, who's playing some sort of a match yet again. And then goes to the O'Loughlin target. King went early. O'Loughlin read it beautifully. Will he kick a fourth goal? He's missed.
That's a big miss there, Plugger.
Gee, well, that was probably one of his easy ones for the night too, wasn't it? And gee, at the end of the day, that will be a bad miss, that one.
And at the end of the day, right now the Swans should be 6 in front, and they're not.
Exactly, and they really need to make the most of these opportunities while they present themselves, because they know from the last outing here with the Kangaroos that it doesn't matter how far you're in front of them, that they will keep coming at you.
Just rattled at the moment, the Kangaroos. Goods' kick, banging it in. Just the fact that Pickett just blazed away straight to Adam Goods. Nick Mercado.
Yeah, Mickey O'Loughlin, just a slight cork. Apparently a different one from that one that he did have a few weeks ago, but he's going to be okay.
And that's a good return for the Swans, if he can stay up there. 7-7 to 4-3, so they're 14 shots to 7, double the shots. The kick into the centre. Stafford and Shawville. McPherson, can he get a handball away? Good tackles on. Crouch was terrific, and then kept it down low to Goods, who sweeps it to Swash. Bad kick at the end, misses his target. They've just been wasteful here. Blakey, Crouch's attack was superb. Wanted to go on, which would have put him within range. Forced to stop, and then kicks to centre half forward. And I think, fortunately, in the end, finds Nix.
I'll tell you what, Winnie Abraham made an interesting smother here. Just we won't catch it, but he tried to actually smother the ball with his foot. So interesting Winston Abraham there to do that. But this is a critical kick for Matthew Nix.
This is his second shot for goal. He missed an easy one like this up the other end in the first quarter. Can he do any better this time? Oh, so close, but so far away.
Well,
these are the opportunities that they really need to make the most of, because they've got a 23-point lead, but really that should probably be about a 35 or a 40-point lead at this stage.
No doubt about that. King's kick out wide. He wants Carey. Shorville offence. Carey just timed it really well and took the mark. So often when they've needed someone to stand up for so many years, it's been this man that's done it. Will he do something here to bring the Kangaroos right back into it? His big kick to half-forward Colbert. Abraham at the back. Hard swash at Abraham. And then Wharf. The handball was okay. Out to Goods. Goods has been busy. Little kick to Creswell. He's going to get away with it, I think, McCartney. Creswell toe poking. Kelly was hard. And then Creswell another funny old toe poke. He got a high one, Creswell, to get a free kick.
Yeah, funny old passage of play that, wasn't it? Darren Creswell probably should have taken the first mark, but elected to knock it on, then kick it off the ground and just copped a backhander there from Johnny Blakey.
Short to Kelly, who we haven't seen much of in the second quarter. It's about 80 metres from goal, 90 metres from goal. Goods wants it high, and so does O'Loughlin. That's the target. O'Loughlin's big fly. O'Loughlin claims it. I don't know if anyone else held it. Gave it to Nix. Nix hooks it back and kicks a third behind in the quarter. I'm not sure if anyone else actually got any sort of a touch on the ball, but O'Loughlin.
I'll tell you what, let's have a look at that again. There may have been a couple, yeah, maybe a couple. But have a look what he does here. It's just amazing. His ability is incredible.
He would have been a brave umpire to pay that a mark, wouldn't he, eh?
You would have claimed it, Plugger.
7-10 to 4-3. It's a real mismatch in the scoreline at the moment. Creswell banging it back in. Surely the Swans have got to get a goal out of something, but Pickett's got it. Well, they have dominated the last 10 minutes, like very few teams have against the Kangaroos this season.
When you look at 16 scoring shots to 7 at the moment, so they really needed to get a better return, and particularly against the Kangaroos, more so than any team in the league.
Well, Simpson forced to blaze away. Nobody there left. At the moment, they're just hanging on the Kangas, aren't they? Wharf. Terrible kick to Stevens, to Harvey. Now they'll try and run forward in numbers. Will Harvey bang it over the back? He's got no one ready to go to. Just puts it up to fall forward. They've got the numbers, but there's a free kick, maybe 52 against Adam Lane here.
Really in that situation where the Sydney player Wharf come off the, half-back flank there, really should have hit his target there. There's no excuse for a turnover like that, was there?
Yeah, I guess that's something that perhaps holds his game back a little bit. He's a terrific, got a lot of tenacity and runs very, very well, but occasionally he does turn the ball over. I'll tell you what, Dennis Pagan wouldn't be all that unhappy. Not the fact that this team's playing so badly, but they are still so close at this stage because they're absolutely getting hammered at the moment.
Armac running onto it. Archer working back. But the facts are, the Swans have kicked 1-6 to 1-2 in the second quarter only. They've only got 4 points out of all of this.
And that's exactly right. The Kangaroos went through that in the grand final against the Crows, didn't they? They just didn't put them away. And you can show you, if you don't put teams away, then it can come back and bite you. And I think Rodney Eade would be a lot happier if he was 2 or 3 goals further in front, because this Kangaroos team can turn it on pretty quickly.
Schwartz to Fosdyke, missed it. And then Bell, Luff to Creswell, banging it back in. Goods to go. Takes a magnificent mark.
They really had to sit on Jason McCartney. There's not a lot McCartney could do. He's really sitting under the ball, and that's a terrible place for a defender to be. You're not sure whether you're supposed to back, whether you're supposed to go forward. Really at the mercy of the player coming over the top of you. But it was a good mark in the end by Adam Goods.
Well, surely he'll kick this. And this does stretch it out a bit, doesn't it? It's 25 points at the moment. Goods to kick his first goal for the match. Oh. Well, I don't know. What's the answer?
I think we're all dumbfounded at this stage. There's a great mark.
Let's concentrate on the good things.
Oh.
Well, Rodney Eade would be not at all happy, because there's no question. 7 goals, 10, and 4 or 5 of those kicks are really gettable kicks.
I think it is 7-11, Roosie. The scoreboard's got 7-10. Where was 7-11? I think we're right here.
Kelly off, Bolton on.
Terrible kick by Hewitt, so Kelly off the ground. Wharf belts it away. Back to McPherson. Handball to Bolton has just come on. Handball a bit slow. Caught by Harvey. Geez, the Kangaroos can get a goal quickly. It's really going to sting, isn't it? The kick to centre wing. Gee, Spider, that was interesting with Stafford. Stafford was good there, and he's going to get a lucky free kick because he ran across Stevens to stop Stevens' run.
I tell you what, Bruce, you picked it up. That was very smart by Greg Stafford. He saw Stevens coming, knew that he couldn't outrun him, and just sort of stumbled across his path there.
Goods and O'Loughlin again, the targets, the ball at the back. Well done by David King to build it out. Saddington's been a good aerialist all night. Ball bounces, Harvey, onto him was Bolton. Pickett, well done. I think the advantage was given because the free kick was there. Goes to Colbert. Kangas with a chance now for the first time in a long time. Out wide is Hewitt. He's about 60 metres. Little one to the pocket. Mark taken by Grant. Coming in late, Nix.
Yeah, Luff had to leave Grant there and go towards a ball carrier there. Shannon Grant, not a long kick, Piker, so this may be just outside his range.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking from a good 45. He's on a pretty acute angle over there in the pocket, but he on the right side for a left footer, but got pretty good skills, Shannon Grant, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him put this one through.
Stephen Doyle on for his first one, boys.
Grant's kick. Not going to be a goal, and it's a behind. So Stephen Doyle having a run. Well, a litany of errors here from the Swans. Have played so well in the general play and yet have wasted so much up forward. And the Goods is almost the straw that breaks the back, doesn't it?
I think they just need to change it around a little bit, Bruce. I think if they're going to rely on just bombing the ball into 50 and hoping that Goods or an O'Loughlin or one of these type players can take a big mark, I just don't think that's the way to go. I think they've really got to work the ball and get it in and hit targets, a leading target, and just try and get their options a little bit better at this stage instead of just bombing it.
Saddington is playing very well to another defender who's in good form in Shawball. So let's see if they do change it up a bit. To Nix, quickly on, he's in trouble. Hewitt was good, and then Nix, I think he knew he was in trouble as soon as he played on. Shawball to make a contest, and he does quite superbly on Abraham. Nix did well. Then to Creswell. Creswell to Matthews. The Swans are killing the Kangaroos in general play, and that's a bit different clever in the build-up.
Yeah, look, it's a good lead, and at the end of the day, when you've got Glenn Archer breathing down your back of your neck, Roosie, that was a really good, strong mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Adam Goods had a pretty quiet patch in the middle of the season, but his last 4 or 5 weeks have been fantastic. There's not much else Glenn Archer could do there. He was certainly right behind him. He's had 12 possessions, Adam Goods, but he's kicked 3 behinds, so he really needs to put this one through.
52 metres out.
He kicked the hard ones. Can he? Can he? No, I don't think so.
So he's kicked 4 behinds and Nix has kicked 3 behinds. And the Swans are 7-12 to 4-4. Rocket must be tuning up inside, knowing what an opportunity has been lost at this stage. They're going to have to dominate this match to win now for a long period. King's in a bit of trouble in the end. Doyle forced underneath it. Goes to Schwass. He's got Ahmad in the pocket and goes to him. It was a poor kick by Schwass. Just had to kick it low and in front of him.
Yeah, if you are to be critical of the Sydney Swans tonight, they've been fantastic, but their kicking to the forwards has let them down a bit. And it's hard to know what the Kangaroos need to do to get back in this game. They're just not getting the football around the contest, around the boundary, throwing ball ups. They're really getting cut up through the midfield. So I would suggest Carey, who's gone back to centre forward, is...
Bolton's kick and Stafford's taken a beauty. Now, Plugger, you're the skills coach, the goal-kicking coach of the Swans. There is no way you'll miss this, is it?
Bruce, don't say that too loudly tonight, will you?
Oh.
No, look, this is what Greg Stafford needs to do more of, is get down there, and no reason at all why Greg Stafford couldn't kick 2 or 3 goals each week.
See, well, it was a great kick by Bolton coming in, wasn't it? It was low, it was purposeful, and it was in the right spot.
It was, and look, very hard to outmark Greg Stafford, especially when he's got to run at the ball. And Swans certainly need this one.
And got it, he's kicked 2. Well, it's a big lead. It's like a broken record. It should be a lot more, but it's now starting to become substantial. How many times have we sat here at the SCG in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter has been a vital period in the match?
It's been certainly in the early stage of this particular season. But I really think for the Kangaroos to get back in this game, Carey has to station himself at full forward or just outside the 10-metre square, because if they're going to continue to bomb it long, they need someone that can mark the footy.
Well, you're almost think the next 5 minutes will tell the tale of the match. If the Swans can kick another couple, they'll almost be outside the range. This is a big lead.
Dale Lewis coming onto the ground for his first run too.
And the Kangaroos get 1 or 2 back before half-time. King, well done to the other King. Well, this is just what they needed. The right bloke to get it. He kicked one from this distance in the first quarter.
And these are the goals he kicks. Well, normally anyway.
crowd loved him. Well, you're going to kick less than 50% of those in your career, aren't you? I mean, they're real hard, those.
It's a hard kick, but he's just got an uncanny ability, Wayne Carey, to be able to kick those goals at the right times. And normally he will kick those goals.
That one was super important for the Kangaroos, with only a few minutes to go before half-time.
Good thing for the Swans, the Kangaroos have kicked 1-4 in this quarter, so they too haven't really hurt them against the flow on the counter-attack. But the Swans have kicked 2 goals, 8. Free kick to Saddington. Just Saddington's playing well, isn't he?
He is playing very well. I tell you what, Wayne Carey was unlucky there. You watch the shepherd here by Matthew Nicks. Just puts his body in. So Carey did have a little bit to complain about there.
Saddington to Maxfield. Looks up. King to bear down on him. Maxfield's kick. Shawble's his target. Can't quite take it. Missed by Wharf. Then looks up and finds Shawble. Takes them on. Gee, confidently to Bolton, who bangs hard and long. Not a very good kick. Bounces to the back. Pickett will search and tease them over the line.
Andrew Shawble, he's a confident player at the moment, isn't he? Just 5 kicks, 6 handballs, 3 marks. He's really confident at the moment. Playing great footy.
8-13, so 2 goals, 9 in this term to the Swans. Pickett wide. Carey just timed it better. He got rid of Nicks. He's getting a lot off at Carey. But probably in a position that's not hurting him a whole lot, isn't he?
I think that's the key, Bruce. If you're Rodney Eden, you see Wayne Carey marking across the wing, marking across halfback, you really don't care. It's when he marks it inside 50 that you start to worry.
Does he take on Fosdyke? Now he goes over the top to Makepeace, one of his few possessions so far tonight. Have a run with Grohl, and well done there by Wharf. I think just to hold, it wasn't Wharf, it was Doyle, to hold Burton up and allow Seymour to take the mark. Seymour wide. Kelly's just come on with Schwass. Schwass did very, very well and got a cruel bounce. That oval ball that we love so much, it makes this game such a fascination. The kick by Carey to Stevens, and the mark taken by Colbert about 60 metres from goal. It's very important from the Swans' point of view that they hold up the Kangas. The kick to fall forward, held up there, the young Stevens. No free kick to the Kangaroos. Well done, Wharf, to keep it in. Terrific effort by Crouch. Colbert hard at him. Crouch kept his eye on it. Free kick going to... Is it going to the Swans?
I think it's going to Jared Crouch. He had eyes only for that football there, Jared Crouch. And well done. That does take courage to run with the fly of the ball like he did then, knowing that Colbert was coming the other way. And just eyes for the footy.
Is that a fair... It looked a fair bump when I first saw it. Is that a fair bump? He's left the ground, hasn't he? It's a hard one.
I think that's the fine line, isn't it? We don't want to put Lee Colbert in, and it certainly looked fair. But when you leave the ground, I guess that's when it's a problem. But hopefully for Colbert, it looked like a pretty reasonable sort of effort.
Kangaroos to set up here. Colbert short to King. Now he's a long bomber, mainly on the run, isn't he? There's young Crouch. That's bad luck and terrible to see. Brave young player that he is. Colbert certainly... look at King there. Oh, you're joking. You are joking, umpire.
Oh, that's just...
Oh, that's unbelievable. He's been absolutely conned here.
That is a terrible decision. It just...
He should be pulled off the ground, the umpire, for doing something like that. They should have a reserve to come on.
Have a look at King. King's basically run back into... And that is really... You just hate to be critical of the umpires, but that's when they just spoil the game. That is an absolutely disgraceful decision.
Kicks the goal.
Well, there's a goal that certainly the Kangaroos needed. 5-5, there's no question. David King kicking it from the 10-metre mark, and let's just have a look at it again here. Well, yeah, I don't know about that one, Plugger. That's pretty tough. But David King, he's kicked the goal and certainly got the Kangaroos back in the game, no question.
So back in the centre, 8-13 to 5-5. Free kick to the Swans. So this is a young Doyle. His first kick in senior footy. Kicks to 50. Good mark, Stafford. He has been a very important player.
He's got to get it on there quick now.
At 52 to the goal square. Getting back Doyle. Goods at the back. Ball to be won. Archer was terrific. And well done by Archer to get it out wide. So the Kangaroos have held firm here. 8-13 to 5-5. At half-back, Stevens kicks the ball to centre wing. Clayton. And out of play.
Well, I think they've steadied the ship a bit, the Kangaroos. They should be out of this game, Plugger, but 5-5 to 8-13, 21 scoring shots to 10, but they're certainly still well in this game.
Certainly are. The game has probably just slowed down a bit from the first 15 minutes. We just see that bump again, and it was a pretty fair bump, I think. Good effort from Jared Crouch to keep his eyes on the ball, but a fair bump by Lee Colvin.
Swans doctors are saying concussion, just a wait and see in a similar way feast.
Thanks for that, Nick. Forsdyke with Lewis. Was that out on the full? No, boundary throw in.
It'll be interesting that the two respective coaches, as they go in at half-time, Swans have completely outplayed the Kangaroos, but I wouldn't think Dennis would be unhappy with the scoreboard. He'd certainly be unhappy with the way that the team's going, but there's certainly light at the end of the tunnel for the Kangaroos because they should be a lot further down.
Lewis held up, then Nix, Abraham down low, copped a high one, and then King at centre wing, finds some space in the end, an important kick, and Mark, but after the siren. So the Swans, in a way, are probably fortunate the siren has gone, but boy, they should have made a lot more of it. But like Roosie, I think everybody thinks, well, the Kangaroos have escaped a bit at half-time. They trail by 21 at quarter-time. They trail now by 26 at half-time.
Yeah, look, 8-13, 21 scoring shots to 10. I don't think there's anyone here, or perhaps anyone sitting at home, that wouldn't disagree that the Sydney Swans should be a lot further in front.
Well, Lachlan looked proppy there as we saw him a moment ago. Let's see if he can play it. Welcome back to the SCG. Good crowd here and a lot of atmosphere with the Swans having a 26-point lead at half-time over the Kangaroos. Swans have got a few injury problems. Lachlan looked a bit corked up, didn't he, in that first half?
Yeah, courtesy of his teammate, Plugger Adam Goods, who nailed him in the goal square, and we sort of commented that perhaps he should have left Mickey to take that mark.
Yeah, I guess some things do happen in a game of footy, but there probably should have been a little bit more talk. A little bit worse for wear, the Swannies. Simon Feast copped a heavy blow, head-to-head clash. I think it was with
Lee Colbert.
Lee Colbert, and Lee Colbert also the participant with the Jared Crouch clash. So he's cost the Swannies a couple of players there tonight, but all in all, a pretty good game of footy. And the Swans, I know we've said it before, but they probably should be a little bit further in front of than what they are at the moment, Bruce.
Well, they should be a lot further in front. There's no question about that. It's going to be interesting to see if Dennis Fagan makes any switches at half-time.
Yeah, I just think Carey's got to be at centre forward or full forward for them to win the game. Yeah, he's been a good player. He's had about 11 possessions in the first half, but a lot of them have been up the ground. So I think he really needs to station himself in that true centre forward position.
Nick McArdle's down on the boundary line. You've been busy tonight, Nick. There's been a lot happening, hasn't there?
Certainly has been, Bruce, and you saw the shots there of Simon Feast and Crouch as well. And I can tell you that the Swans still are very concerned about them. They're keeping a close eye. And I indicated earlier that maybe we'd see Feast back, but now I'm not so sure. The feeling not the same from the rooms at half-time. And also, of course, Martin Pike again with that hamstring. So he's in a bit of trouble too. I don't think we'll see him back. And, well, the Kangaroos kicked 7 goals the last time the two teams met here in the third quarter. I wonder if they can do that again.
They got them late too, Nick. There's Corey McKernan, who has a calf injury. Heard today that Kutafidi's posterior cruciate out for at least 4. Bradley with a hamstring out for at least 3. So this is the time of the year, Rodney, you're looking on that you don't want your key players to be getting any sort of an injury.
And the other one is Dustin Fletcher. I guess there's a little bit of conjecture as to what his injury may be. Some suggestion it could be a back injury or something like that. So certainly some key players going into the finals that both those sides can ill afford to miss out on.
Just interesting to see the boys walk out to their positions, and I think Lachlan looks very proppy, and it's a problem when you get the half-time break there that injuries like those corks do tend to seize up a bit, and by the way he's sort of moving around, I think that leg's quite stiff.
Looks like they'll play him out of the goal square and hope he may pinch one or two with his skills. He's got Pickett against him and Archer's picking up Kelly, and Carey is starting Roosey at centre half forward. Stafford, good tackle from Harvey at the back, and then David King, whose brilliant goal in the third quarter was really symbolic of what the Kangaroos did to the Swans in that round 5 game. Grant, well done. Back to Burton, to Harvey, to King. You often see him pushing forward when the Kangaroos need him. Good kick wide to Abraham. Hasn't had much of it. In fact, he hasn't had a kick, Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham and Craig Scholl hasn't had a possession either. So they're both two key forwards for the Kangaroos too that need to get obviously more involved in the game.
Well, could he long bomb? He's about 52 metres out, gets underneath it. He's kicked it a country mile, and it's over behind.
Yeah, he's one player they really need to watch, the City Swans, and the Kangaroos would love to see him getting a fair bit of the fall as Winston Abraham. We see Bolton, Crouch, Doyle and Feast, and Dr. Tom Cross as well.
And he won't come on.
Dr. Tom won't? No.
Bolton not used all that often, but he had an impact when he came on in that second quarter. Stafford in the back pocket. He wants Seymour. Lang. Seymour, good attempt. Then Grant pushes forward, and a boundary throw in. It's often a quieter start to a third quarter, isn't it? First couple of minutes of sorting it out. A few changes to either side. Every goal is going to be watched intently here in this third term. Can the Kangaroos conjure a great escape here? Stafford, Stevens, Nix all over Stevens, and got him in the end. I think the umpire probably had a good look at it and felt that Anthony Stevens had a chance to at least make a real attempt.
And I think the other thing is his teammate was the one on top of him, so he probably didn't know that, but his teammate was the one trying to get the ball off him.
Nix's kick, he's waited it well to Creswell, who made it at centre wing. So the Swans playing for a chance to keep in the finals race. The Kangaroos basically know they'll be playing Carlton in the first week, second versus third. The kick to about 50. Goods in the front spot. McPherson to try and read it. Make peace with him. Back to Lewis. Has to kick in a hurry. A bit off the side. Blakey trying to read it. Cruel bounce for him. Pickett trying to make it work. Maxfield was terrific. He's a left footer going the wrong way. Breaks a tackle. Right foot hooks it back. Right to the goal square. Goods went really early. McCartney took a good mark.
Yeah, good safe mark by Jason McCartney. He's been a solid performer again tonight.
In the goal square, bangs it out, gets it into the heart of the centre square. King Shawball's been outstanding, belts it back to Lewis. Handball doesn't quite get to his target. He probably had more time than I think he realised, Louis. The kick by Archer out wide to halfback. Harvey should get a free kick. He was held on to and doesn't. Boundary throw him.
Yeah, and he's asking the question there too why he didn't get a free kick, so he was a little bit unlucky there, Brent Harvey, that's for sure. Just clever there, just a little. And probably he unlucky.
He may have grabbed hold of Fosdyke a bit himself in the end. Colbert, Fosdyke, Harvey, back to Bell. Bell trying to crash through. Then the little handball was clever to Colbert, to Bell at halfback. Kicks the ball to centre wing. Luff, that's courageous. Really good effort.
That is a great mark from Troy Luff, isn't it?
Had Carey bearing down. That's not a good kick, by the way. He set his man up a bit in walk, but Seymour kicks to centre half forward, and that is a good result. And Creswell's within range here.
Yeah, he will have a shot. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I can't see Darren. And that, look at that. That's fantastic by Troy Luff. Full length with Wayne Carey coming behind you too, because you know Wayne Carey's going to make you earn it. So well done by Troy Luff.
He's been a good goal kicker again this year, Creswell. Has kicked goals in 15 of the 19 matches. He's given it a roost and kicked the goal. Well, just how important was that opening goal of the third quarter?
I think it's important just about every game that you play, Bruce. It's always good to start that third quarter with a positive result, a goal, and set up terrifically by Troy Luff. He's a very courageous mark. You see Brad Seymour there and found the target inside 50, Darren Creswell, and probably noted as a better goal kicker on the run, but went back and pretty tough kick, but he was equal to the task and a great start from the Swans.
I tell you what, it was right on Darren Creswell's range, that too, right on 50 metres. I think he kicked it 50 metres and 1 inch, and it just cleared the line. But as you mentioned, Plugger, well done to Troy Luff, and a good goal from Darren Creswell.
It's a bit of a paradox, but they've actually had some lucky goals tonight, the Swans. And And yet they've kicked so many behinds. Carey just getting the better of Shaw, but he hasn't done that too often in that situation tonight.
That's really the first time in a one-on-one contest that Carey's been able to outbody Shawborn, but this is what he does so well. We watch it here. As soon as he gets his hands on you, Wayne Carey, and he just gets that first nudge, he's so strong, and he should kick this goal.
He kicked one long bomb in the first half, missed another. He's very careful with it, and he's put it through for a second.
And they did need to strike back fast too. You know, we talked about the dominance of the Sydney Swans in the first half, and they kicked the first goal. So certainly the Kangaroos did need to get back, and well done here by Peter Bell. Just a good knockdown by Spider Burton, straight down to Bell, and a quick kick. And that's what a quick kick does all the time. It dips forward and it lands in front. And Wayne Carey just got his body onto Shawborn to kick his second goal. And that's where they need him. At round about that position, I think, Bruce, for them to be successful tonight.
Interesting to see how Kangaroos have pushed all their forwards up onto the 50 now and left Carey in a one-on-one duel with Shawborn. So that should be very interesting.
So 9-13 to 6-6. It was a quick strike back. Then Nick's out of the centre for the Swans, kicks to half forward, Goods, and also Kelly. Well done, Archer, because Goods, I think, fancied himself there. Archer outside defensive 50, going towards the line. Clayton has had a fairly quiet night, started interchange, boundary throw in.
And well done by Glenn Archer. He's had a pretty solid night, considering you see Craig Scholl, Martin Pike, Cochrane and Brad Stevens on the bench, but he's had a solid night considering he hasn't played for 6 weeks, so certainly good signs for Glenn Archer and the Kangaroos.
King got hold of it in the end and then bangs it back. Abraham read it best and then dropped a pretty easy mark, but had plenty of time. Seymour, he knows Carey will be coming. The bounce eludes everybody. And McPherson, that's a cruel bounce. Makepeace in short. And is it a mark? Maybe a free kick in the end to Lang. Gee, they were a bit stiff, the Swans there. Just the bounce of the ball really gave the Kangaroos and Makepeace in particular a chance. And now Lang may kick a long goal.
I don't know whether he actually marked this or whether he got a free kick, but certainly wasn't a mark, so possibly was a free kick paid to Lang. And as we said, he's been a very good contributor this year.
He's a good kick too, Roosy. He's a long kick. He's averaged a goal a match. This will be a really good blow for the Kangaroos. Bring them back. He's kicked it very well. Has he got it through? I think he's got it. Their big move yet, but there are some signs, aren't they?
Yeah, a couple of quick goals, Plugger, and we've talked about it all in the first half. This is what they can do, is put 2 or 3, even 4 or 5 quick goals together. There's no question about that.
They certainly can. They have the ability to do that. And interesting, Craig Scholl, I reckon he's a really good noted goal kicker, and he would certainly give them a bit of spice up on the forward line too when he comes onto the ground.
That's good kick. Simon Feast, who concussed early in the match. Jude Bolton with him. And with Jared Krafts probably down to 20. Though Pike can't come back for the Kangas. And the Kangaroos with a couple of goals in a couple of minutes have got a real taste here. Blakey held up by Armat and a ball up. So the Swans got it to 32. And we've got that lead back now to 67 to 48, back to 19.
And they are trying to get Carey one out, but Matthew Nicks is playing as a loose man down there at the moment. So obviously Rodney very concerned that Carey one out inside 50 is pretty hard to stop.
Good mark by Lang. He's starting to get involved. So the Kangaroos are about to attack again here. Goes long. Carey will be a target. He's got a couple to help him. Mark in the front, maybe to the Kangaroos there, and paid.
It's
Carey. I thought Hewitt might have got a touch as well, but Carey's got it.
It looked like there was both sets of hands, and if we watch it again here,
well, there was, I think.
Well, I think there was.
It's a bit of a raffle, that one, but
you leave it to the captain, though.
Yeah, well.
He's claimed it in the end, hasn't he? So he's going to kick from where he kicked about 4 minutes ago. So this will be 3 goals to be goals in about 4 minutes. And the Kangaroos are doing what I think all Swans supporters hoped they wouldn't. And Carey carefully kicks his 3rd goal.
And that's just classic Kangaroos football there. As soon as Lang got the ball, he looked upfield. Wayne Carey made a couple of leads, just sort of half leads, as he does pretty well. And then Lang kicks it long into the Carey direction. And there's 4 players up in that, and Evan Hewitt probably had more of the ball than Wayne Carey, but certainly the King took a terrific mark, and that's his 3rd goal. So Wayne Carey playing in that one-out role is a very, very difficult proposition.
He was pumped up after the goal, Carey. An important move here. Kelly has put himself into the centre square. Someone has to stand up for the Swans right now. They lead, but they're having that lead eroded, and he gets the first kick out of that centre square. And Lachlan's taken a beauty.
Well coached there, Bruce. Picked that well, but you're right. Paul Kelly going into the centre. They needed someone to stand up.
He can hardly walk, Lachlan.
Yeah, he's very lame, isn't he?
Yeah, this is a big kick, isn't it, Mickey O'Loughlin? You wonder how restrictive that injury will make this kick too.
Well, it's his left leg that I think that is the one that's been corked, so it's not his kicking leg, but this is a vital goal for the Swans.
Kicks from 48. It's a wonderful effort. That's a great goal. It's also the fact that he's injured gives it an extra boost, doesn't it? It tells the Swans something. But Kelly got it out of the centre, and a wounded O'Loughlin was prepared to take the mark, grin and bear it, and kick the goal.
And he is really limping down there, but this is what Paul Kelly does give them. This is what the Sydney Swans missed in the first half of the year when Paul Kelly wasn't playing. Just that inspirational player to do something inspirational at the right time. And Mickey O'Loughlin is in a lot of pain at the moment, and that's a good goal, a good mark and a good goal. And he's won out in the goal score with Byron Pickett, and hobbling down there, that's for sure.
The absolute steady they needed, isn't it? So now the Kangaroos are going to have to chase hard again. 10-13 to 8-6. High quality game, high stakes for the Swans, and the Kangaroos would love to go into the finals with a big run of success behind them. Maxwell gets it from Creswell, kicks to fall forward. Gee, Lachlan made another great contest. The Kangas had all the numbers. Makepeace couldn't get it out, and then Fosdyke, quick kick, he's kicked a goal. A huge goal in the context of the match.
Can't say enough about Mickey O'Loughlin, Pluggett. Just an injured player, and the effort he made there to get to Glenn Archer, who looked like he was going to take a certain mark, that was fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's a good test of character, and he's come through with flying colours just to get the ball onto the ground. That's where it wanted to be, and Nick Fosdyke was equal to the task. Just picked it up and snapped it, got it onto his right foot quickly, and a 6-pointer for the Swans, and they've answered the 2 goals that Kangaroos kicked earlier on with a couple themselves.
Well, what a big minute for the Swans. A huge minute. They've regained all the momentum and the ascendancy both on the ground and on the scoreboard, and that man has played such a role, O'Loughlin. Stafford beaten maybe just a bit by Burton. Creswell's handball slightly hot for Kelly, who gets in and wins it. Gee, Kelly's been important too in this couple of minutes, hasn't he?
The last 3 centre clearances have gone the Sydney Swans' way. 2 from Paul Kelly and 1 from Darren Creswell.
Kicks to half forward. Schwass just worked Simpson underneath it to Nix. Comes back confidently. Keeps it low. Clever kick to McPherson. Schwass on his wrong side. Going to kick a right foot goal. He can. It's another one.
Yeah, terrific goal. He's very, very excited there, Wayne Schwass. But it was a good little kick there. I think it was Fosdyke that kicked it across, wasn't it? Nix kicked it across. A really smart kick, as we see a good body walk from Wayne Schwass. But this is a good kick here. Just keep this one low, Matthew Nix. Really smart play to Daniel McPherson, and a great handball. And on his wrong side, Wayne Schwass, that is a very good goal from there.
Schwass, Kelly, O'Loughlin in the last couple of minutes. Gee, this is a big couple of minutes for the... Look at Schwass. He's as pumped as Carey was at the other end.
And just out of the centre, though, Bruce, that is critical on the SCG, but Darren Creswell and Paul Kelly have been terrific.
They're back to 31 points, which they got to 32 in this quarter. So all that good work from the Kangaroos. Kelly again belts it forward to centre half forward. Archer and Goods, good mark, little Makepeace, third in line.
Yeah, great mark from Makepeace there, just going back into the pack. Terrific. Eyes for the footy.
Out to Blakey, McPherson with him at centre wing. So the Swans with this good lead again. It's a 5-goal break. Blakey belts it low. It's a poor kick, actually. He's done a couple of poor kicks tonight. And Seymour on the end. He's got Lewis wide. He's going to use him and finds him. So Lewis pretty fresh. Didn't play much of the first half. Goes to McPherson. He's a lovely running kick, McPherson. Just goes with a hard and high one. O'Loughlin again the target. He couldn't get into it. They're going to have to be careful to not to overuse O'Loughlin. Just feel as if there's only a little bit left in the petrol tank. Archer keeps it low. He saw Swans everywhere and finds the line.
Yeah, smart kick from Glenn Archer there. Greg Stafford was dropping back on the wing there, and if he had kicked it in the air, Stafford would have marked it. So very smart play from Glenn Archer just to kick it across the boundary line.
I wonder if the Swans can go for the jugular here. They haven't done it much this year. Could they bury a team? They're in a position where they've got a chance, haven't they, to bury a good team?
Well, they've really got to go on with. They're playing pretty good football at the moment, Bruce. It's good to see that the Kangaroos kicked a couple of goals and got their spirits up a bit, but the Swans have been able to answer that. I think that's been the positive thing, and they've answered with a couple of quick goals themselves. So this last 10 minutes of this third quarter really should set the last quarter up.
Byron Pickett looks like he might have gone to full forward, unless he's just following the play down. But Pickett in the goal square now with Wayne Swash on him.
Love's big fly. Burton was at the back. In the front was Lang. Good smother by Lang was terrific stuff. Stevens hard at it, but Maxfield matched him. And then Harvey belts it forward. Carey and Shawbull. Shawbull got a fist away. Carey's becoming an important player. Abraham free kick, I think, to the Swans, is it? They're hanging on. No 50, which is fair enough. Abraham didn't pick up the call. And a free kick to the Swans.
I think it's going to Matthew Nix over there as a free kick.
Lucky, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what that was for.
Spider coming off too. Little proppy.
Saddington almost up to centre wing, kicks to half forward. Lewis sets himself with Colbert, bouncing ball to be won. Wolf just couldn't get a handle on it. Harvey was terrific, burst through. Abraham starting to get a touch or two. Now the paddock set up here. Will he go for the big bang? He does to fall forward. Carey's not there for once, and Nix did well and forces it back. Boundary throw in. Stevens against him. There's the big spider on the boundary line.
And Stevens is certainly not the marking target you want to be bombing in long to, so pretty tough ask for Anthony Stevens to outmark Matthew Nix, and Nix in the end just got it over the boundary line.
So the Kangaroos with a chance here. This is where they made their move against the Swans to this end of the ground in round 5 in the last 10 minutes of the third quarter. Carey trying to do something himself again. He's already kicked 3, forces to the line, boundary throw. They never pay it against the player when he's in his attacking zone and deliver it out of bounds, which is, I mean, that would have been a big call, but so often the forward actually goes to the line as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it is. You're right there, aren't you? I mean, if a forward takes it over, it's not considered deliberate, yet if a defender does, it is.
So again, the Kangas with a chance. Hewitt front spot, Blakey out the back, gets it back, quick kick ball. Gee, Maxfield was very good in close, and then Luff wants the boundary line, and he might find it. No, it sits. Harvey running so hard, goes back to McCartney, goes with a long one to the pocket. Shawbull's there, Carey, and also Stafford. Gee, Stevens really took a beauty. Now Schwass, he's got to be careful here. Oh, he's found the line. It was an important touch.
Yeah, that was important there. If he, I thought he might have run it through the goals there, but well done by Wayne Swash. Just an experience. There's Simon Feast on the bench.
Well, the Kangaroos have had an attack for about 3-4 minutes, so if the Swans can hold them up here, it'll be a very, very big play. Maxwell better kick it. He does. He was almost run down. Contest in the centre. G. Creswell was good to make Bell. Force him under the gun. Colbert back to the King. Carey's little one to Grant. Looks up. Thought he had a chance to go on. Decides that he can really kick it from here and go back. This will stretch him, won't it, from here?
Yeah, he's probably right on his limit, Bruce, but we've seen him have a shot at the other end in the same pocket, favouring his left foot the quarter before. Almost made it. I think he's a little bit closer this time, so this could be right on the money.
Good kick. It's going home, and he's kicked a goal. Well, long bombs from Lang and Grant have really helped them in this quarter, haven't they?
Yeah, that was a good goal from Shannon Grant, right on his range, but he certainly, the good thing there is he actually took a long run up, and well done here by Lee Colbert. And Wayne Carey, good vision here, could have easily bombed away, but saw Shannon Grant out of the corner of his eye, and that's the beauty of Wayne Carey. He does make terrific decisions at the right time, so he didn't bother to bomb it long, just kicked it to Shannon Grant, and he's kicked his first goal.
Free kick in the centre square and taken by Goods quickly, and McPherson, we know he's a great kick. He's 55 metres out. He's hooked it just a bit. Boy, that would have been a telling blow, wouldn't it? He knows the chance is gone too, doesn't he?
And he's a great kick on the run at goal too. We've seen him kick a lot of those in the past couple of years, and really I think Frosty, if you had asked him, he would have been confident of kicking that one.
Clayton off, Scholl on.
And Armat's off too, Nick.
And Bolton on for him too.
it's still manageable for the Kangaroos, though, isn't it? They've got it at that manageable level at the moment. If they can get one back, there's plenty of time in this third quarter, by the way, but Pickett's kick wants Stewart, and it was a good one. Outside the 50, into Cochrane. Forced to kick in a hurry, a bit up and under. Carey, they get numbers, the Swans, as they've done all night. That's good play at the front of the pack by Wharf to Nix. Had to be accurate. Maxfield will probably run onto it. He does. And then able to deliver to half forward. O'Loughlin and Creswell, and he's got it, Creswell. He saw the chance, stood his ground and waited for it to come to him, didn't he?
Well, a North Melbourne player, I'm not sure who it was, come across the front of the pack here, as we see on the replay. And not sure who that was.
Was it Evan Hewitt?
Hewitt, but he's totally missed it. And Darren Creswell had stopped and propped, and it fell straight into his lap. And he would love this situation, Rosie, wouldn't he? Loves kicking a goal.
He's been a very good goal kicker this year too, Darren Creswell. Pushed forward on a number of occasions, and he should kick this.
And he has. He's got 2 in the third quarter. They're standing up, aren't they? They really are tonight, the Swans. We've seen them capitulate and then make a late dash when it's been too late this year, but tonight they're actually matching the Kangaroos.
We said earlier, Bruce, when the Kangaroos kicked a couple of goals in a row there and looked like they were really starting to fire up, they came back and kicked a couple more. They answered it back, and now they're going on with it again. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign of a mentally right side. And you see Greg Stafford just coming off the ground. He's only just hobbling. I don't know whether that might be the blood rule.
They've actually got a bit of a problem down here, guys, because Stafford's coming off. Lucky should be off with the blood rule. He's got a bit of blood on his chin, and they brought him to the sideline. They've actually got no one to come on for him because they knew that Stafford was coming off, and Stephen Doyle had to go into the ruck.
Good stuff, Nick. Some interesting things going on as Doyle does come into the ruck.
It's a good time for the young kid to get in anyway and show us how good he can go. But, the reports are he goes very well, and he's only a young kid, but he does try very hard.
Well, he got over Hewitt. He's got a height advantage. Creswell's handball. Maxwell's been a good player all night. Swans with a chance. Blakey's one man out. Kelly, old Blakey, well done. Maybe he had a lucky break, but he was just terrific. Creswell running hard. I feel as if the match is up for grabs now. It's a 5-goal game. There's plenty of time to three-quarter time. Which team can get the ascendancy in this latter part of the third quarter has an enormous chance to go on with it.
It's certainly evened out as a contest in the third quarter. The first half the Swans dominate, but certainly in this quarter the Kangaroos have really hit back, but the Swans have been equal to the task. So at the moment this quarter is really in the balance. Both sides are playing pretty good footy.
Gee, that were good hands by Grant, and then King accelerates away. Well-weighted kick to Carey. Seymour back, and Shawbull. Carey's going to try and get a free kick. He doesn't get it. He played for it. Lewis to Luff to Nix. This is a big play by the Swans. Oh, they're going to be quick. Lewis was. Terrific reflexes. Carey hasn't got up. Nix through the centre. Wonderful rebound. Football to Goods. Will he use the runner Bolton? He doesn't. He's going to go to O'Loughlin. Can Mickey make it? He's pushed underneath it. No free kick. The umpire was in a good position. Bit of a waste in the end. And then Archer. Goods in late. McCartney. No mark. Out towards centre wing. Boundary throwing. Carey a bit the worse for wear, but he is up.
I'll tell you what, he looks very proppy. So does Michael O'Loughlin, and it's going to be tough for Mickey O'Loughlin on those long, hard leads with Byron Pickett, because Pickett is so quick, and obviously O'Loughlin is labouring a bit at the moment. But just looking down the other end, Wayne Carey is certainly limping at the moment.
Quick kick by Colbert. Scholl, who's come back on, takes a chest mark. Now Carey wants it wide to the pocket, and Scholl's hooked it back. It's a good kick. Shawbull, that was a great kick by Scholl. Well read by Carey.
Cochrane off, Burton back on.
It's a great play to be able to get his body in the right position so as he can take those marks on his chest. 9 out of 10 players would be taking those marks above the head, but he can get his opponent under the ball or beside it, and he's good enough to mark them on his chest, which is unbelievable.
Gave Shawbull a mouthful too, didn't he? Good looking kick. Gee, what a player he is. He's kicked his fourth. Third for the quarter. And almost single-handedly, he's keeping the Kangaroos in this match, isn't he?
It is an amazing play. You mentioned the fact that he does take a lot of marks on his chest, and he's taken 11 marks tonight. And the reason he does it, his shoulders are pretty bad. So it's incredible a player like Carey can play at the level that he does and take so many chest marks simply because his body doesn't allow him to take a lot of marks with his arms extended. So it's just an incredible effort from Wayne Carey.
3 goals in the third quarter to carry Nick McArdle.
I don't know whether it's intended for Michael O'Loughlin or not, but I just noticed that Nathan Gibbs behind the orange box there, he's got a syringe out and he's filling it up with something, so someone's in for the jab.
Sounds a bit scary, doesn't it? 26 points the margin. Duel out of the centre. The Kangaroos get a sniff here. This is a very crucial time in the game. Free kick surely to the Kangaroos. The advantage given to King. He's just missed Grant. Grant running onto it. The Swans will come hard at him. There's 4 of them wanting to attack him, and they got him. It was a poor kick by David King.
Yeah, it was a shocking kick from David King, there's no question. If he had hit him on the chest, Shannon Grant would have been kicking for goal, no question about that. But Matthew Nicks charged in and a very good tackle in the end.
And so the margin's back to what it was at half-time. Late in the third quarter, Burton lays it down very well. Stevens, terrific by Kelly, almost to take it off his boot and then try and claim Stevens. It'll be a ball up. Swans have kicked 5-1, so they've been accurate in this term, and the Kangaroos have also managed the same scoreline.
And there's 1 player inside 50 for the Sydney Swans. Actually 2 players the other side of the centre square. All the players are now in the Kangaroos half of the ground.
Simpson coming over the top as he did so effectively in the second quarter. Stephen, Carey getting rid of Lewis. Ball comes out to Archer. Kept his head. Well done. Kicks a great goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal from Glenn Archer. Once again, Carey, Dale Lewis was in front of him, Chauvel behind him, and they did the right thing, obviously, and brought the ball to ground. As we see coming out of the pack there is Anthony Stevens, I think it was, got that little kick out. Watch Carey competing again. Chauvel gets a good fist on it. Archer even had a little time to fumble. That's how much time he had there, and that's a really good goal from Glenn Archer.
So Stafford off the ground with that. Stafford the one who's going to get the needle, I think.
Yeah, there's obviously something just below the knee there, whether he got a knock on it. So that's interesting to see whether he'll be back on the ground.
They can just keep the pressure up for such long periods, the Kangaroos, can't they? Can the Swans match them? Out of the centre, McPherson in the end couldn't find it, and then Matthews was hurled up. Did well in the end, but Archer and Burton have got him. Geez, a test of wills at the moment, isn't it, in that centre? Kelly again getting an important touch. A bit up and under. Schwartz got caught out of position, then was terrific. He found the footy in the end. He knew he was in trouble. Now, Loughlin's on his own in the goal square. He's got our Matt, who can run on. Should run on. Decides not to. He really could have burst away there.
He could have. He needs to go back now and really concentrate and not rush this, because this is a very important kick just before three-quarter time.
Didn't go back a long way. Gets close to the man on the mark and kicks a beautiful kick. He kicked his third.
I'll tell you what, that hasn't Paul Kelly been important from the Sydney Swans point of view? If you're talking about Wayne Carey down the other end for the Kangaroos, who's kicked 3 goals this quarter, Paul Kelly going into the centre of the ground when the Kangaroos kicked the early 2 goals in this quarter has really made a difference, and that's something the Swans have really missed throughout this whole year, is Paul Kelly in the middle of the ground. He's had 4 or 5 really key possessions coming out of the middle of the ground, and it's made a huge difference for the Sydney Swans.
What he's done, he's got the ball and got it into the forward line. He's actually got the ball out of the centre for the Swans, and he has made this centre square at Sydney his home for the last 8 or 10 years, and he's just instrumental in the way the Swans play.
He's had 5 kicks in this quarter, Kelly. So the Swans again matching the Kangaroos in all facets of the play. Kelly so courageous, and then Abraham back to King and Schwartz. There are a lot of brave players out there. Maxfield, good stuff, holds them up. And then Matthews, but only as far as the big spider. Goes wide. King squeezes. Stevens to run onto it hard. Saddington's committed himself now. Stevens gets a pretty good bounce. Then hooks it back in. Has it got the legs? Good mark in the front spot by Matthews. And Seymour was put down behind the play. Gee, Colbert, it was a strong tackle from Maxfield. Swans, the switch-up's good here. And Matt to use a bit of pace. He can go along here. There's no one putting any pressure on him. Then goes over the top to Wharf. Now Hewitt to try and run him down. Wharf probably just took 1 step too long and then kicks it rather poorly. A courageous mark. Getting back taken by Lang.
Yeah, there was a courageous mark. Just did take 1 step too long, Rowan Wharf, but he didn't have a lot to kick to because Mickey O'Loughlin is hobbling in the goal square. and just kicked a bit of an up and under in the end.
McCartney's kicked to half forward. Saddington's been a brilliant marker all day. That's a superb mark. Schwartz.
Makepeace off Clayton on for the Roos.
McPherson inboard to Saddington. Saddington runs and then kicks long. Goods and O'Loughlin the target. Goods almost. O'Loughlin didn't take it. Wasted chance really for the Swans. The Goods mark was there to be taken. Carey deep. Gets it to Lang. And then Lang straightens the body. Slow to Burton. Lewis is a thumping kick. Doesn't quite get balanced. Bolton can kick a goal. Lines them up and puts it through. They might win this.
I'll tell you what, Dale Lewis, he was never going to kick that ball, Bruce. Dale Lewis, fantastic experience there. Saw Spider Burton, I think it was, in front of him. Just held onto the ball long enough to set Jude Bolton. Just watch him here. He just holds onto this football, lets Lang come to him. He's never going to kick that. Draws Lang, Bolton, a really good kick from there. And really, Plugger, the Swans have really weathered the storm because the Kangaroos have been fantastic in this quarter.
The great bit about the Swans game tonight is whenever North Melbourne have looked challenging or whenever they've showed that they can come back at them, they've answered the call and put a couple of quick goals on the board themselves. So anything that the Kangaroos have thrown at them, they've served it up and dished it back at them, and they've just been fantastic tonight.
Had 29 scoring shots to 17, the Swans. I think it might be the blood for Goods.
Yes, it is, and Stafford to full forward.
Well, what happens in the last 2 minutes? What a quarter Kelly's played. What a quarter of footy it's been from both clubs. Carey has been brilliant. The Kangas have been great, but the Swans have matched them. Blakey held up.
Yeah, I think we've all been a little bit critical of some of the matches over the last 4 or 5 weeks, but tonight the standard has been fantastic. The intensity of both teams, the level, the skill level. It has been a terrific game of footy tonight.
Burton. Doyle just got over him. Kelly again, and Blakey onto him, and again a ball up. What might have been when we look at Paul Kelly right now and those 5 defeats by under 9 points this year.
Yeah, I bet you, Rod, there's no question Rodney Eade would be sitting up in the box saying, I wish I had Paul Kelly to throw him in the centre and play him all year, because it would have been a different story for the Sydney Swans.
Burton and Doyle. Doyle doing pretty well. Gets admittedly fresh legs, Willie. He's a bit unlucky, to be honest. Burton in the front spot, Doyle trying to get over him, and Spider's got the free. So can the Kangas get a late goal? Bit up and under, just wanting a miracle Carey mark. Hewitt coming in from the side, and then Maxfield off the ground to Schwartz, holding it up, not panicking, being a little bit cute in the end to be truthful. Tuke, Scholl, Schwartz. And then a bit of a Hail Mary from Scholl. Back to David King. King centering kick is a good one. Gives Carey a chance. Oh, nearly a mark he's held on to. No free kick. Kick going to the pocket. And a behind. Well, I reckon Wayne Schwartz in the end, he just was too cute.
Yeah, I think the Swans will be pretty lucky to get out of that with a point in the end, because Rodney Eade is going. It's on the big scoreboard too, and that's what the crowd is erupting over. But I think he's got every right to be upset there, because what turned into a regulation play from Wayne Schwartz, should have just kicked it out the boundary line, was a red-hot handball to Ben Matthews.
Nix didn't get much on that, and Burton filled the spot. Look at, I'll tell you what, if the Kangas get a goal here, Rocket is going to steam out, and they may get a goal. Clayton's presented himself inside the 50. Well, there's the subplot to it all. It's the main story right now. And as Roosie said, the crowd can actually see the shots that we're putting to air in the big screen. You can see the monitor behind, that's the big screen, and Rocket is ropeable. Can Clayton kick a late goal? The siren sounds, it's not going to be a goal, and the Swans are going to have a 5-goal lead. Well, I reckon that's the best quarter of football the Swans have played for the year. I know they've outscored teams by plenty of goals this year, but they responded tonight in that quarter like they haven't done for the rest of the year. They have put themselves in a winning position against one of the powerhouses, one of the giants of the competition. It's 104 to 73. Nick Mercado's been a very busy man tonight, but you've got another little story for us, Nick, down there.
Bruce, you actually missed out on this a couple of weeks ago against West Coast, but I think Brucey and Plugger will know exactly what I'm talking about. A pretty serious case of mistaken identity. Let's have a look at the tape.
be a little fresh here at the SCG, but it's a pretty hot scoreboard as far as Sydney's concerned.
Well rugged up, wasn't she?
I tell you what, she could be up at Thredbo, couldn't she? Just shushing the slopes up there.
Leave her alone. She's come to watch the footy and she's loving it.
Well, I've now got with me the ugliest woman of all time, Paul O'Connor. You've been copping a bit of stick over that.
Yeah, lots and lots. Thanks a lot, guys. Plugger and Roosie.
That's all right, Pauline.
Ciao, guys.
And the boys at work been giving you heaps, and your wife been giving you heaps?
Yeah, my wife, my kids, everyone. Pauline, I'm called now.
That could stick.
I think so, yeah.
There you go, boys.
Well, there's no doubt who he is tonight. He's taken all the headgear off, hasn't he?
Well, Plugger started it, so I think if his solicitors are going to get onto it, they might as well sue Plugger, because he's got more money than all three of us anyway, Bruce. So.
Well, we've sorted that out, but how are we going to sort this match out? This has been a terrific game. Can Wayne Carey do it again? He's kicked 3 second-half goals, 4 for the match. And Mickey O'Loughlin's also kicked 4. They're both a bit wounded. I think Mickey's wound is a little more severe than Carey's. You almost think that Carey's probably got to kick 3 again in the last quarter for the Kangas to get up.
Yeah, well, certainly that in the third quarter, really Carey kicking his 3 goals. So yeah, you'll need to kick a couple, that's for sure.
Kangaroos kicked 7-2 to 7-1 in the third quarter. It was one of the best quarters of footy you could hope to see. Abraham. They'll keep coming, we know that. Belts it long, Shawble front spot. Almost took the mark. Carey was over the top. Quick handball out. I think there's a free kick to the Swans. And is it going to Matthews for a high one in the back. The Swans were able to match everything the Kangaroos did in that third quarter. Seymour. Nix, so good build up here. Quickly on. Goes to Schwartz at centre-half forward. Simpson belts it away at the back. Who can get onto it? It's Blakey. Good handball to Archer. Hard man to stop when he's on the burst, isn't he? Kicks to half forward. Terrific stuff by Seymour to get rid of Hewitt. And then Matthews attacking hard. Keeps it low. That's a wonderful kick to Kelly. Lace out of him, wasn't it?
That was a great kick to Paul Kelly. Brett Seymour's been terrific tonight too for the Sydney Swans. He just used his body really well there before.
McPherson's been a busy player. First goal would really make it difficult for the Kangaroos. And Jim Creswell's taken a terrific moment.
That is a huge leap too for Darren Creswell there.
It's actually got both men off the ground.
You could have put a jam tin under this. Look at this. That is, no, it's a really good mark.
Long kick from Creswell to the goals. O'Loughlin's got it. It's a free kick, is it?
Yeah, I think he just grabbed Byron Pickett and just swung him around onto the ground there. So just a terrific effort again from Mickey O'Loughlin, but a free kick to Pickett.
Don't know what long-term damage O'Loughlin's doing out there to you. I mean, he's in big trouble. Pickett's kick out wide to Lang. I think Pickett would be able to expose him a bit running off him, wouldn't you?
Well, I guess that's how dangerous Mickey O'Loughlin is, the fact that Pickett hasn't run off him, and Mickey O'Loughlin's only sort of 70% fit, so shows you what a dangerous player Mickey O'Loughlin is, even at 70%.
Matthews threw it away. Kelly. Goods was a terrific competitor there. Still got hold of it. Then a bit up and under. O'Loughlin's got a chance. He's running hard. Can't take the mark. Goods running back. Kelly. They can raffle it. Kelly could kick a big goal. No, he can't. But it's passed it beautifully. And the Swans get the big one at the start of the last quarter. And it's Luffy.
Well, Mickey O'Loughlin too. Look at him on screen there. Just he charged at that football there. And perhaps if he hadn't have made an effort like he did there and he smothered the ball, it might have bounced over his head good over the boundary line. So well done. But Paul Kelly, we've sung his praises tonight too. Just some, hasn't had a lot of the football, Paul Kelly, but certainly in the third quarter was instrumental in keeping the Swans away from the Kangaroos, and just saw Troy Luff out of the corner of his eye. That's Paul Kelly's 11th possession. Saw Troy Luff out of the corner of his eye, and Luffy had a chance to smile there.
I was going to say, he just had a bit of a grin on his face there.
Well, surely they're home. It's 37 points.
Well, you'd like to think so, Bruce, for as far as the Swans are concerned, because it's been a great game for them. They've certainly withstood the challenge from the Kangaroos and been fantastic all night.
King's kick. Seymour in the back pocket, wants the line.
And he's another very important player. He's had a bit of a quiet couple of years since the 1996 season where he was fantastic, but gee, he is a really good player. If he gets back into a bit of form and a bit of confidence, he just stiffens the back line up so much. He's a great player.
He's been very good tonight. 19 possessions, Brad Seymour. And his last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been back to some of his best form. Mickey O'Loughlin, he is hobbling in that goal square.
Schwartz just handed it to Ahmad, whose pace can really expose him. He takes the line. Have a look at this for a burst. He's run 100 metres in 9.78. He's running faster than the footy. Could this be an unbelievable goal? Lines them up. What a goal! It's one of the greats of all time.
And he's happy about it too, isn't he?
Well, I'll tell you what, Bruce. I don't know whether commentary was great. I don't think commentary can do this goal justice. You just want to have a look at that's in the half-back flank near the back pocket he's picked. Look at the pace on that fella. That is unbelievable. He fumbled it. He sidestepped. You will go a long, long way to see a better goal than that. That is the goal of the year without question.
Can I officially say that was very, very special?
That was special. Robbie Ahmed's 4th goal. Plugger, you called it early on, one of the quickest players in the league. That is certainly illustrated that.
I tell you what, Maurice Green is a lucky man that Robbie Ahmed or Matt Shevington might not make the team. The trials are on in 3 weeks. Kelly's been wonderful. To McPherson. Well, this could really do
another one.
Drizzle's done the team thing to good. Got him. This is champagne stuff. They are going in for the kill.
This is the Swans of old. They are going right on with the job. They don't look like easing back at all. They've increased the tempo, and they are all over the Kangaroos at this stage of the game.
I tell you what, they're giving their fans something to remember at the end of this season, aren't they?
And Paul Kelly, I'm going to harp on it because he's been out for so long this year, but this is Paul Kelly's night tonight. Just the second half has been outstanding, and welcome back, Paul Kelly.
Well, goods to bury him. As he missed again, he's kicked 5 behinds. 0-5. Surely they're home, but... Kelly's had 9 kicks after half-time.
Just really the hard stuff, though, from Paul Kelly. I think when the Kangaroos hit back in the 3rd quarter, he had 3 or 4 centre clearances that were really critical, and it certainly has been something that the Swans have missed all year.
Gee, Plugger, you got some work to do with Goods during the week.
Yeah, it looks like he might be having a special session on Tuesday by the look of it.
Clayton's kicked to centre wing. What a night it's been. That goal of Ahmad will go down in AFL history as one of the real greats. Terrific tackle. Well, the Kangaroos are really stunned here, I think, aren't they, by Sydney's persistency and consistency at this level.
Yeah, this has been without question the Swans' best game for the year, no question. The Kangaroos really came at them in the 3rd quarter. No worries about that. They played some terrific football, Kangaroos, in the 3rd quarter. They were nearly at the top of their game, and the Swans withstood that pressure.
Kelly again, and then Burton belts it out. Lewis in the box. Gee, Archer was hard at him there. Free kick to Lewis. Would have stung a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit too hard from Glenn Archer. But I'll tell you, from Glenn Archer's point of view, he could be very happy with his night. He's had 13 kicks, 2 handballs, and kicked the goal, I think, as well. So he's been very good in his first game for 6 weeks.
Good stretch by Stafford. They're very confident, the Swans. Stafford at centre wing. Floating left foot. Goods has got it. He's outside the 50. He is a long kick. Decides to give it everything he's got. It's a chance. Pickett was good. I think it hit the goalpost. No, play on. Ahmad's already kicked 4. O'Loughlin's kicked 4. Back to Ahmad. Hands and knees. The handball to McPherson. It gets back towards Bond. But it's a free kick. Is it to the Swans or the Kangaroos? I can't tell. I give up.
Yeah, I don't know at all, but I think it is to Daniel McPherson. But I thought, like you, Bruce, did that ball look like Pickett hit that ball and actually came off the goalpost? I'm not sure, but it looked like a few of the Kangaroos boys are questioning that goal umpire now. Here it is on replay. We see Byron Pickett definitely
hit the goal umpire, I think. Pickett hit the goal umpire. He stopped it going through, and that's what Harvey's talking about. Well, what a stunning performance here from the Swans as McPherson will kick their 18th goal. Tell you what, there's a few clubs who will be getting a bit nervous. I know they're all playing for keeps at the end of the year, but there's a few clubs around the 8 that will be saying, boy, they've got Richmond and Geelong in the next 2 weeks. They're not out of this.
Yeah, they'll definitely need to win this. As we see the replay again, and it's come off. And it's hit the goal umpire on the foot of the leg. And Wayne Carey, I think, ran all the way down from full forward to complain about that.
Carey questioning all that. Armat, by the way, has gone off the ground, hasn't he, Nick?
Yeah, Armat off. I've just got a signal from the Swans physio to say he's okay. I'll just check out then exactly why he's off, because it's not as like he's been playing too badly. The other thing, Michael O'Loughlin, the Swans say that it's the sort of injury that he can't actually do any more damage to, so they're just going to leave him out there and see how he goes, and he's going all right.
Well, they're 50 points in front. There he is at full forward. Well, Paul Kelly has really led this club for so long, but this week made the big statement during the week, as we showed you at the start of the match, about this is our territory, and he, more than anyone, I think, is going to savour this victory tonight.
Yeah, no question. And the Kangaroos have come into this game in fantastic form, so certainly the Swans can take a lot out of this game.
Grant back to Clayton, to Abraham. Very quiet first half, got busy in the third quarter, bangs to full forward. Lewis should take the mark. He's brought down, he'll get the free kick. They've lost their way, the Kangas, as well now, haven't they? You don't see that too often.
I'll tell you what Dennis Pagan wouldn't want to see now is maybe someone getting reported for a silly incident, because the last couple of forays forward, the Kangaroos forwards have been a little undisciplined, so hope from the Kangaroos fans' sake that there's no reports or nothing silly to come out of the remainder of this game.
Goods has been, if Goods had kicked 5 goals and not 5 points, you'd be just saying what a match he's played. He got that to Stafford.
Yeah, he has got 19 possessions, 9 marks, 5 behinds.
Stafford's been good, one of his best games for the year. Kelly outnumbered, Blakey at the back. From the side was Burton. Nick's running onto it, but he's kicked 4 points. Goods has kicked 5. Nicks goes in, gives it to O'Loughlin. Mickey, what are you doing?
Mickey O'Loughlin didn't expect that handball, but no, had a lot of time.
Gee, I think Matthew Nick's done the right thing. He drew the North Melbourne player and got it off to Michael O'Loughlin, but he could actually run into an open goal in Michael O'Loughlin, but probably no talk. He didn't know if anyone was around or not, and he's just snapped it over his shoulder, and that should have been a certain goal.
Well, the Kangaroos are completely and utterly shocked here. They are in disarray. The Swans, they can miss easy shots as they did in the second quarter, as O'Loughlin did there, but it makes no matter. They are just swamping the Kangaroos here. Goods has taken 10 marks, and now Stafford's taken 9 marks.
Yeah, look, they've been very good in the air. There's no question about that tonight. Stafford with 9. Jason Saddington's been very good overhead as well. So Adam Goods and also Mickey O'Loughlin early too with 6 marks. So certainly inside 50, they've had some pretty good targets tonight. Stafford lines up for this goal. And he's normally a pretty good kick, Greg. Stafford should nail this.
It's kicked 2. It's coming back. They like it. He's kicked 3. Well, Plugger, you said in the break when we were talking about killing them off, you said, yeah, it'd be good if they could go on with a 50-point win. Well, they're 57 points in front.
Yeah, well, that looks like they're certainly going to do that, Bruce, the way they're going. It's been very impressive, the way they've really kept at it. They're just really, I mean, this is probably the first time they're really going to bury a side this year. I mean, we know there's 12 or 13 minutes left, but very impressive the way they've gone about their job and continuing to do that tonight.
Scoreless in the last quarter, the Kangaroos.
Interesting, Wayne Carey's gone to centre-half back too.
Stafford out of the centre. Well, they're having a picnic now, the Swans, as they are just rubbing it in. Stevens to Pickett, making the ball work for him as he so often does. They need something to happen late, the Kangaroos, to give them something to go into next week. That one was smothered. Lane's got it. Slow handball. Kelly. That was unfortunate. Burton certainly didn't mean that. He was going for the footy. But Kelly's pace and anticipation, he read it beautifully. He's got Luff wide. He's banged it out there. Carey to put the pressure on. Luff to keep his eyes on it. Bolton at the foot of it. Well done, Bolton. The handball's a beauty. Nicks to Goods. Goods has got one at long last.
Well, you wonder on this form, like how the Swans could miss out on the finals, but we've talked about just the close matches and one P. Kelly.
Well, he is the instigator. He has just seen the last few weeks since he's been back playing that how much everyone has lifted as a team, and that's all due to one bloke, and that's P. Kelly.
Mickey O'Loughlin's about to come off. Listen to this roar.
And just on that too, Bruce, you wonder whether Dennis might pay to take some of his maybe injured players off, give Wayne Carey a bit of a rest, maybe a Lee Colbert who copped a knock early, Glenn Archer who's just coming back. So it'll be interesting to see the philosophy of the Kangaroos coaches as to see whether they give a few of their players a bit of a rest.
Well, it's a 10-goal game. Stafford completely dominated. Carey, Good's got him. They are so hungry here, Sydney. This is really going to make some headlines. Missed there by Stevens to Lewis. He's a thumping kick. He's on his wrong side. It's a good kick to centre half forward. Bolton's fly was impressive. He might have hurt himself on the way down. Archer, it was Luff, sorry, squeezes it to Stevens, to Bell. Actually, so many good players that we've hardly seen for the Kangaroos in this last quarter. To Simpson, measures it to King, loves to run on with it. And King belts to fall forward. Still haven't scored in this last quarter. Fosdyke, Nix, still with Nix. Matthews, now they're going to score, I think. Grant, can he get it? He does. He's kicked a goal. Clever done. Well done.
Yeah, he did very well there, Shannon Grant. Particularly well. Is that Evan Hewitt? Evan Hewitt down, yeah. So they can ill afford to lose players now, the Kangaroos. Even though the game's lost, there's certainly, they don't want anyone on report, they wouldn't want anyone injured, so they've still got a bit to play for in the last 10.5 minutes of this game. But Shannon Grant is a talented player, and he was on the ground there when he kicked that goal, so pretty skillful effort.
They've got Collingwood and the Saints in the last 2 weeks, the Kangaroos. I mean, no game's easy in footy. It's a cushy ride in compared with some other clubs.
Yeah, you know, real danger signs, I guess, tonight, because the Swans have really just dominated all but the third quarter, so they've really run over the top of them.
Creswell, Luff's okay. Goods trying to do the roving. Pickett with him. Goods pushes forward. Stafford beat everybody. Stevens at the back. Swamped a bit, gets it to Carey. He'll get a Bronx roar. Little kick into Clayton instead of half-back. Sort of controlled damage with Carey back there, isn't it? Late, just... Simpson out wide, Schloss with him, and it'll be a boundary throw.
Guys laying off the ground and in a bit of trouble too.
That's Hewitt, I think. Nick Hewitt, Evan Hewitt there.
They're just checking the ribs, yeah. So let's hope for his sake he's not too bad. Crowd of 30,551 to Bruce, I think, just flashed up on the screen. So terrific crowd for tonight's game.
It's only the second time this year above 30,000. The other time was the Collingwood. I think Saturday night footy's a good night to have footy here in Sydney, a good time, but also I guess it was a glamour matchup with the other co-tenant, Shawbull, kick out wide, taken by Bolton. Bolton to Luff, but Archer's on the end of it. So that's a great response, and over 30,000 for their final game in Sydney this year. Archer sweeps it wide. So Richmond and Geelong are the last 2 games for the Swans. Their percentage is up by 3 at the moment. The score stayed the same on what they went in, and they're around about the 98-99 going in. So it's a competitive percentage. Hooking back, and Colbert's got it.
Colbert, just that knock early probably hurt him a little bit. He's only had the 12 possessions, but to his credit, he's continued to battle hard and dished out a few heavy bumps to the Sydney Swans boys, but certainly they'd be looking to him over the next 2 weeks to really continue his march into some pretty good form coming into the finals.
Can sort of play anywhere, can't he, Colbert? And he's interested to see where they settle in the finals, where they just week by week give him a job. 48 metres out. Good-looking kick. It's going to be close. He's got it. So a couple of goals to the Kangas. Plenty of time remaining. No chance of a comeback here. But they're just salvaging a little bit from the wreck, getting it up to 13 goals to 20.
Yeah, when you have a deficit of so much, you really look for some small positives, but there's Brent Harvey. Hasn't been his normal dominant self tonight. A good centre, though, terrific centre. Brent Harvey's had the 18 possessions. Hasn't been as dominant. Normally averages about 22 possessions a game. And a good kick from Lee Colbert.
So Grant and Colbert with consecutive goals for the Kangaroos. Kelly. Gee, what a play that was when he went into the centre square, when the Kangaroos got within a couple of kicks in the third quarter and immediately had an impact. It's probably unlucky. Bell kept down very low.
Yeah, he just ducked his head a little bit, Bell, but certainly was high. But once again, a good effort by Paul Kelly.
Just misses Lang, running onto it though, his Makepeace, and then banging hard to fall forward. Not a good kick. Shawble front spot, and then Seymour. Well done. He's played probably his best game for a couple of years. I think Plugger mentioned that earlier. The kick wide by Fosdyke, didn't have much on it. McPherson back to Seymour. Seymour to Fosdyke, whose third quarter goal was so important. Gets it to Wharf. Wharf, good touch. Oh, that's terrific stuff by Colbert across the face of the boot for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, that was well done by Lee Colbert there, just to throw himself on the boot, and has been a tough night for the Kangaroos and for Colbert, but well done by him.
Just confirming they are concerned about Hewitt's ribs. I don't think it's going to.
Thanks, Nick. Lewis, King, Kelly, ball up. That was great stuff by Colbert. 8 or 9 goals down, 5 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes remaining, and still doing that sort of work. Burton and Doyle. Gee, Doyle won't forget his first game in a hurry in this team. Clayton went early. Free kick paid, advantage given to Makepeace. In Saddington, that's interesting. Makepeace tried to hold the kick up, I think. The kick to fall forward. Matthews getting back. Free kick to the Swans. The advantage is given to Shawble. He's had a very good game, even though Carey's had some wonderful moments. Gets it out wide to Goods, who's just knocked up getting it. Goods. GR Matt running hard. He couldn't do it again, could he? Out wide. Boundary throwing.
It's been a good contest by Shawble and Carey, hasn't it? They played pretty well wide of each other in the first half. Then when Carey went to centre forward, he did well in the third quarter. But, you know, I guess honour's probably slightly in Carey's favour, but certainly Shawble hasn't been disgraced, that's for sure. He's been very, very competitive.
Too hard there with Seymour. The big Mexican wave going around the ground here. Over 30,000 people. Boy, wouldn't they love another game at home after all of this. Clayton to King, out wide to Stevens at half-back. Good kick down the line. Scholl unable to take it. McPherson getting it back from Saddington, boundary throw-in.
Yeah, just been one of those nights for Craig Scholl, unfortunately, because he's a terrifically talented player. He's only had the 2 possessions, been off the ground a lot, but certainly the Kangaroos need him firing. They're going to be a threat in the finals, and he is a terrific player despite being in the twilight of his career.
Well, there's a tremendous atmosphere here. They're celebrating, aren't they, in a really big way. It's a bit like a grand final for the Swans tonight. McPherson's look-away handball was terrific. To Fosdyke, big banging goal. No, bounced the wrong way.
Just had Greg Stafford on the lead there too, Plugger, so a bit of a 50-50 though. Do you have a shot there, or do you pass it to the big fella?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, mate. It's in hindsight, he probably should have passed it, but it wasn't to be.
Archer got it short from McCartney. He's running through now. That's what's in front of Archer. Goes wide, wants Burton. Well done by Doyle. He's shown enough, hasn't he?
He's been good. He's only a young kid. He's got all the ability, and he'll certainly be better off for the run tonight. He'll certainly remember it's been great to play here against the Kangaroos in your first game and have such a great win. And he certainly is going to be a player of the future.
Gee, the crowd are really celebrating, aren't they? They're giving their team a mighty send-off in 2000, and the players have not let them down by producing their best performance in a couple of years, I think. Archer's got it at centre-half back. One of the positive signs to come out of this match for the Kangaroos, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to like his game. 18 possessions, 6 marks, 1 goal. So certainly Glenn Archer. And they'll be looking forward, obviously, to getting Mickey Martin back, I believe.
Bolton's hurt himself here
over the next couple of weeks.
Good
he might have just got in the shoulder there. So, oh, gee, I tell you, the leg too. Hopefully he hasn't. Although his leg looks all right, his shoulder could have been nasty for the knee, though.
Hasn't Lee Colbert done some damage tonight, inadvertently?
He did some to himself early on, then a couple of Swans players later on.
Demolition derby around him tonight. A kick by Archer out wide. Saddington's high fly has been impressive all night. Gets to Clayton. Clayton's kick is a good one. To half forward to Burl. Well, they haven't been completely dispirited. There's Bolton in all sorts of trouble. I think he's going to have to come off. He's been riddled with injury, that young fella, hasn't he? He's got great talent.
And there's nothing to be gained by leaving him on, so just get him off as quickly as possible and try and get him ready for next week. But he certainly does look in a lot of pain at the moment.
Yeah, looks like a shoulder, is it?
Carey the target at centre-half forward. Ball comes to ground. Lang, little give to Stevens in his first game around the corner. Harvey onto it. And it will mark the spot and go back. There's Bolton. So it's been a long 10 minutes for the Swans since that real burst. They have paddled a bit, haven't they? With the Kangas just getting a couple back, but once the game was won, certainly doing all the work.
Tell you what, Bolton was so lucky there he didn't do his knee because he just landed so awkwardly, but obviously done a shoulder.
Well, it's going to be a busy week for the medical staff all around the country with the Blues last night, McKernan, Pike, what we've seen today. Crawford caught an injury today for the Hawks. Harvey in the pocket. And he's got it. So they've kicked the last 3 goals. It doesn't count for much, to be truthful.
And he's had a solid game, Brent Harvey. Nothing spectacular, but certainly solid. 20 possessions and 2 goals. So
Jude
Bolton again. So the Kangaroos are certainly fighting it, as we knew they would, because they are a quality side. There's no question about that. So they'll get something out of this game, but it's certainly beyond them now to win it.
So Harvey with a couple of goals. They've got it back to 46 points. Burton out of the centre. Blakey. Fosdyke. Uses Creswell. Creswell to the pocket to Goods. And then Kelly running at the back. Has a chance to burst here. Kelly goes with a good kick to Lewis. It's wonderful vision. Couple of veterans together.
That is great vision, isn't he? Just held on to it long enough to have a quick look up the field, see who was there. Seen Dale Lewis presenting himself straight out in front, about 25 metres from goal, and ended up doing a beautiful kick too. And Dale Lewis, usually a very good kick for goal too.
Right in front, puts it through.
Dale Lewis is running a bit of form tonight too, Plugger. He's obviously had a very interrupted injury season, but his second half has been pretty good. He's had 11 possessions, mainly in the second half, and kicked a goal, so certainly good signs for Dale Lewis.
It's been close to vintage Kelly the second half, hasn't it? Been absolutely brilliant and inspirational.
Yeah, if you looked at half-time, Paul Kelly had 3 possessions up to half-time, and he's now up to about 16 or 17 possessions, so it certainly has been a 16 possessions, so it has been a great second half for Paul Kelly.
Nick, Bolton looks in a lot of pain.
He is in a lot of pain, Bruce. They're a little bit unsure at this stage exactly what the problem is. It improved a little bit while he was sort of running off in the last couple of minutes, but they're not going to risk him again.
Kelly bursting through, takes Nix on, takes the ball on, gets a handball to Doyle. Bit up and under. Matthews has gone forward. Pickett to go at him from the side. Matthews, well done. The handball to Creswell on the run, right in front, misses. Boy, they missed some. The scoreboard won't tell us that because it's 21-18, but they've probably missed 7 or 8 easy ones, haven't they?
Oh, at least 7 or 8 goals that really, you know,
Kelly
should have kicked, but there. Well, that's the Paul Kelly of old there, isn't it?
There's nothing wrong with that knee there, that's for sure.
It's been a remarkable story, hasn't it, Kelly? Coming back in the last 6 weeks.
It's going to be fantastic. Get through this year and get a good solid pre-season under his belt, and he's just going to be back bigger and better than ever next year.
It's a bit like James Hird for the Bombers, isn't it, this year? With Paul Kelly coming back for the Swans next year, it's just like picking up a new recruit, and a fantastic recruit it is over summer, so it's fantastic for the Swans fans.
Doyle continuing to do some things. To Lewis, to McPherson, to Kelly, to Nix. They've got so many good players, the Swans. Who's doing the votes? You are, Roosie, eh?
Well, we all are, yeah.
It's going to be a tough call. To Maxfield, to Lewis. He's got Armat. Could he take him on again? Decides not to. To Maxfield, who was very good early. Good long kick to centre-half forward. Doyle's fly. Back with him was McCartney. Good play, Archer, to Bell, to young Stevens. This is Brad Stevens in his first game. Push as he kicks. I think it's down the line for the Kangaroos to Clayton.
Yeah, Jared Crouch there on the boundary line. Bit of a smile on his face. He mightn't remember too much about the game, but he's got a smile, and Jude Bolton next to him.
Cochrane in short. Mickey Martin still to come back for the Kangaroos. Probably Capuano as well. Laugh was a hot ball. Gee, Saddington's vision was good there to McPherson. They're playing so confidently to Seymour. Seymour wide, Matthews will wait for the bounce. Going to take 2 on. Pickett to Stevens. Stevens in short, misses his target. They've done it a bit, the Kangas, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not often you see the Kangaroos missing targets because their game plan is fairly basic. Kick it long as much as you can, so pretty unusual. Matthew Nix has been outstanding tonight.
And so's the bloke that gave it to him in McPherson. That was not a good handball by Matthews. And Lewis put some pressure on, and Colbert did a really good job not to kick it out of bounds on the fall.
It is a hard night to give votes, though, isn't it? I think from Sydney Swans' point of view, they'd be very happy. Across the board, they've been fantastic. You mentioned McPherson, he's had 18 possessions and spent a bit of time on the bench. Robbie Armett with 4 goals.
I reckon their inspiration has come from O'Loughlin and Kelly. O'Loughlin first quarter, Kelly second half, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should get the votes, but
yeah, no,
they've been the 2 blokes that really set it up for them.
No question. Mickey O'Loughlin set up in the first half, and Paul Kelly, when they really needed him in that 3rd quarter, really sprung to life.
Wolf at the back, Makepeace running hard to Maxfield. Clever kick inside to Lewis. There's a beautiful kick normally. Lewis finds his target. He had a couple of choices and Matthews has got it. He's only kicked 7 goals in his short career, so he'll fancy having a shot, won't he? But can he kick a goal, Plugger?
He can kick a goal. He kicks pretty good, and he's going to be kicking from 50, so he's probably going to be right on his range again, Bruce, but normally not a bad kick. Not a bad kick.
50 metres out. Just hooked it a bit. Oh, what a victory. Huge win. Certainly keeps them alive. Brisbane must play Adelaide tomorrow. That means the Swans will be equal with one of those teams on 9 wins. Their percentage is very competitive. It'll be over 100% after tonight. Remember that Richmond and Hawthorn are below 100%. So this is keeping them alive. Simpson's kick. Lewis hard. Down to King. Wide to Bell. They're just going to have to lick their wounds, the Kangaroos, and come back again, aren't they, after this? Stevens. It's their first defeat since round 4 last year at the SCG, and they've played 7 games since then. Blakey on the burst. Not sure in the end. Back to Burton. Gee, that sums it up a bit, doesn't it? This last quarter, Cochrane wide. Gets it out very deep. Colbert's been pretty good. That's a positive sign. Scholl, nothing's happened for him. Magnificent win to the Swans. Well done.
Rodney Eade clapping in the box, and he said well done there. So it was a great win for the Sydney Swans. But I guess from a Kangaroos point of view, like, they probably just put the game behind them with 2 games to go. Really just put it behind them and forget about it.
I was just going to say, it might sound funny, but sometimes a loss this close to the finals could be just enough to really give them a sharpen up, and they'll really need to go home and think about this now. But sometimes this loss can work as a benefit for the Kangaroos, and I'm sure they'll come out fighting pretty hard next week.
Yeah, look, I think certainly Glenn Archer coming back and Mickey Martin to come back, and there's certainly some good signs for the Kangaroos. But I just think in this stage, you just forget about it, regroup, and they've got 2 games to go.
Well, what a way to go out for the Swans in Sydney this year. Big crowd, big match, and a brilliant performance by them. Their best for a couple of years. In the end, it was the Swans over the Kangaroos, 21-19 to 14-7.